What's going on, everybody? I'm Wolfbang, your host, and you're tuning in to All Facts Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us, man. We got a good episode on the way for you guys today. We got Big C in the building. Talk to him, Big C. How you doing, man?
Good, man. What's up with y'all guys?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. We got Fred, Philosopher Fred, in the building.
What it do?
Yo, and the reoccurring, we got L. Drizzy Sanchez, Dre London in the building, man. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
How you doing,
you know,
man?
Cooling, chilling.
Cooling.
Another day in the hood, man.
We ain't in the hood. We gonna dispel that myth. We in the suburbs.
Yeah.
We gonna get straight into it though, man.
We do got a gate.
Now before we get into it, how y'all doing? I didn't ask y'all how y'all were doing last podcast, man. I want to make sure I check on my brethren. How y'all doing, man?
I had a lot of personal stuff I was going through, but I dealt with that by myself because you didn't ask. Personally, I went and cried in the car.
But
therapy.
But I mean, anything, personal. Anything personal, I thought.
I was getting ready to lash out at you, but you reconciled it right there.
Yeah, therapy.
I appreciate
therapy,
that.
Yeah. BetterHelp.com. This episode today is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Hashtag sponsored, not sponsored.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Talk to. That's unfortunate, man. We gonna make sure you get right though. What's up with you, Fred? How you feeling?
Not much, man. I'm just moving. I'm tired, but I'm here.
You moving?
Black man putting in labor.
New house?
Yeah.
Slave labor.
Shit.
Slave labor.
Man, give it up for Philosopher Freak getting a new
Don't
house.
do that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Ah,
I ain't know we were giving this shit out this quick. Shit. Okay,
Yeah.
that what's up. That what's up.
What's going on with you? What's going on with you, London? How you feeling?
I ain't been doing shit, working.
Where the money resides.
Where the money resides. And going back to the crib, staying low key
You
at
feel
all
me?
times.
Yeah.
Working on a couple things, but
Yeah.
you know,
Anything new happening with you guys, man? Some new shit. What you got going on new?
What's new, Big C? Come on now. I know it's something new.
Tyler
Know it's
Perry
something
fire
new,
you behind
man.
that other
no.
podcast.
he watched. He was one of the viewers. I didn't get the part. I didn't get that part. He said, "Okay, so that's how that nigga felt, right?
Mm.
Scratch his name off." Okay.
Damn.
No, but just back and forth. Different auditions. Nothing major right now.
Hey, hold on. Oh, I don't mean to cut you off.
All right, go for it.
My fault. One, how you been, man? You asking all these questions.
The point. We never
What's
asked you
new
how
with
you been.
Yeah, like you coming at
I'm
us with
touched.
all these, you feel me, allegations.
The man said allegations. I ain't know. He said allegations.
That's what happens when you get your best friend on the podcast, but we ain't
Yeah.
never asked. Now I feel shitty.
You know what? I honestly
Y'all
don't-
never asked
I don't think
him?
we ever asked him.
Now,
Fred done asked one. You done asked one.
One's the
I don't
host,
know.
so we kind of just let him like dictate shit. So
I
like,
don't know, man. That's funny
like-
as hell.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. To answer the question, man, I've been good, man.
That's
I've been
good.
good. Been putting in work. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of hot shit coming.
I like
You
to
know what I'm
apologize
saying?
for never asking you that because
I gotta go count the
But-
episodes.
but like-
now.
but
Nah.
like-
I genuinely feel like I'm glad I'm only on a couple episodes because now it don't seem as bad. Now it don't seem as bad. See, Fred's been on them all, so
My
But now,
percentage is
Fred-
way bad.
Fred done asked for, but like like Fred said, sometimes no news can be good news. I've been good, man. I've been real good. I appreciate that, y'all. Yeah. Maybe
you should
feel
appreciate
one hundred, man.
appreciate
What's
Dre
that?
because I was not thinking about your ass.
You weren't thinking about it?
Now every time I come in here, I gotta mentally
You
prepare.
self-centered motherfucker.
Every time I come in here, I gotta mentally prepare for Juan to bully me.
I do not be bullying nobody, bro. What are you talking about?
Hey, viewers, right now, our loyal viewers that have been watching, leave in the comments if Juan ain't been
Juan don't be
bullying.
fucking bullying no fucking body.
Let me know if I'm a bully. Let me know. You feel me? Hey, because that's when we started this bitch. Y'all talking about bullying. You know what I'm saying? We started this bitch. Y'all talking about bullying. So if I didn't convert it to the side, then
Big C, you feel oppressed about one?
No, I'm just it's my ongoing joke.
that's
man.
that wolf.
That what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, he a little dumb.
If I felt that way, I wouldn't show back up. Nah.
No, man, you good, man. You know you good in the hood.
Nah, I
Yeah,
gotta
man,
give- I gotta
it's
give him
just a
shit.
whole lot of gangster shit going on over this bitch. Speaking of a whole bunch of gangster shit, man, let's
there
talk about
we go.
this. You feel me? Let's talk about these folks trying to do gangster activities in the ocean, set tripping on their hood, set tripping, man. Get out that water, man. You is not supposed to be in the water.
They creeping in the water.
They creeping in the waters, bro. What you doing, man? You can't be set tripping in the waters.
Man, that's
That's so wild.
crazy. But look, that's wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's only a few people in this world that would ever venture out and try to do some shit like that.
So
And those old candidates, man, I don't think we got no more people on this God green earth.
No, it's actually a whole bunch of. I'm gonna let Big C been talking about that. He been.
It's some more people that want to go down there too.
It's a lot of people.
Whoa!
So-
even with the,
Mhm. They call themselves Titaniacs.
You mean to tell me? So what would hold on before we go any further? Before Big C, before you get into this, they are called what? Titaniacs. What would they be if the Titanic never even fucking happened? It's not that fucking deep, guys.
It is that fucking deep. It's 13,000 feet deep.
Yeah.
That shit deep.
I saw that joke coming a mile away.
That shit hella deep.
Yo, Dre
That shit
walked
hella
into that
deep.
one. He walked into that one right there.
Hey, yo.
As the people just found out, it was pretty deep. They was like,
Hey, man.
they was like, we
It
can't.
ain't just deep. It's deep in more shit. You know what I'm saying?
It is deep as fuck, but bruh, ain't no way. They can't be thinking right, man. They need some.
Hey man, they got they.
The human mind not supposed to do that.
What they been talking about, Big C?
Yeah, tell the Big C, you got the whole coverage.
So, for the people that, I mean, might not be informed, but I feel like everyone's caught up to date. You know, with the whole thing with the OceanGate and the sub being lost. If anyone hasn't heard about that yet, but yeah, dude, it's and you guys feel free to jump in with you guys infos. But I've been doing a lot of stuff on it. So just from, it's just kind of first, the first thing I'd like to say is it's also kind of wild in the same aspect. And one thing I want to talk about is like, how do you guys first off feel about it? Because I've been seeing there's so many memes about it, and it's like 5 people did just die, and everyone's like making fun of it, and like no one's taking it serious.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I know how my side stands for it. So personally, I have an idea, but it's like I feel like it's 2 things. One, it costs $250,000 to go down there, so everyone that wins, like rich millionaires, things like that, CEOs, things like that. But that's not really a main reason. I think it's more personally. The only I think of it is why people have such a disconnect with it. Maybe is that the Titanic. So many people lost their lives there, and these people were making like a sport out of it and going sightseeing. And if you think about it, that can be kind of disrespectful because you're like going down to the graves of all these people and being like, oh man, this is where all these niggas like bit the dust. So I feel like
Bit the dust.
oh my bad. Was I supposed to make like a nautical reference? My bad. They had a shallowy grave. Is that better? Davy Jones' locker.
No.
I actually, as far as it pertains to the people on the Titanic, I actually have no feelings because there wasn't no black folks on board. Maybe that's bad for me. Maybe that's black people weren't allowed on the Titanic, man. Just what it is, what it is. I'm just being honest.
I'm with Warren.
We can just drop the first facts
Keep it
of this
above.
episode.
I'm just referencing the whole thing of why people might, before I get more into it, why people might be so much in disconnect, because a lot of people like haven't taken it serious, and people are like, is it just that? Are we like that used to like, school shootings and other like damaging things?
That's a good point.
To where people are this disconnected? Because I mean, and I'm guilty to say I'm one of them, man. I was laughing at the memes too. I mean, but at the same time,
the memes are gonna be funny.
At the same time, you like, damn, you look back and it's like, am I a bad person? Because like, I feel like people are trying to slowly think of reasons of why it's okay that this happened.
What do y'all think?
I blame Twitter.
No, I'm saying like,
I mean,
because that's a good question.
I mean,
like, how do y'all feel about the whole situation?
If I look at it, we had the dude that was the scientist, right? That built the damn submarine. I mean, like shit.
We had
at the end of the day, he had to been already tested, got in the water, went however deep.
Yeah, they'd already made several.
But even still, when he came back up with this damn PlayStation
controller,
controller that not being funny, my great grandma bought me one of them hoes. Like, you feel me? It's like it's not even brand. I don't know how I would feel. And then like he did some more interviews leading up to this, and then we had some people that were interviewing him, asking them like about it. Like it's kind of like not flimsy, but like it was just put together with
jerry rigged.
Yeah, that right there. That's exactly the word. And he had his comment to it. But I mean, like at the end of the day, guess what they did? They spent $250,000. At the end of the day, I can't take away nothing from nobody that spend that money and they signed the waiver. Guess what the waiver said at the end? Could result in death. At the end, they signed. If you don't know, they signed some shit too.
The first problem.
So I can't like. They knew the risk.
The first problem. And I agree.
Risk also.
I agree because it's like, all right. So everyone makes fun of, there's a whole thing with like everyone's be like, that's white people shit. And there's like, there's that joke everyone says like, oh, if they go like bungee jumping, they're like, oh, that's white people, I ain't doing that. But I've never really once thought of that until I saw this contraption. And I was like, that's the first real time I've actually thought that. I was like, yo, there ain't no way you get, so it's the size of a minivan, holds 5 people. They go into depths, not even regular submarines. And this wasn't even a submarine. They consider this a submersible. It didn't have, it was hooked together with a PlayStation controller, and it basically only turned on certain access, and it could kind of float, and it was this big, like, and they're like, oh yeah, like this is fine to go down there. When they spent, I don't know exactly the exact number figure on it, but their safety manager actually told them prior to this, he got fired, saying this is too dangerous, you shouldn't be doing these. They also skipped out on certain regulations. They were kind of trying to blaze the trail of basically there's actual like restrictions and things that people can come and check the safety regulations.
I forgot though. Do you remember the acronym for the people that actually come and do that?
I don't, but it's like a different thing. Just like how there's OSHA for like for like companies and factories to make sure things safe. There's like a different one for them, but they didn't go through those same channels, and they were basically, they did their own thing, and they got these whole permits and stuff, and basically said it was okay. But even the safety guys were like, you shouldn't go out in this. This is not safe. And then they were like, oh, well, you're fired. So like there was just so much stuff leading up to this. But I mean, if you go to this thing and you're like, oh, we're gonna go inside. First off, submarines on average, Navy submarines, things like that, on average are like millions and millions of dollars, and the most sophisticated ones are into like maybe like $1 billion and stuff like that.
But they can't even go that deep.
Exactly. Exactly. And the one like so when it happened, they didn't have many subs that could even do it. So there was so many problems from the start. And that's kind of what I want to get into about what I feel like there's a small conspiracy. So they basically,
hold on, before you get into that, I do want to because we didn't nail the point home about you. So why did you say that you blame Twitter? Because you originally asked how we felt about it.
I thought you were asking like how we felt about what he was saying as far as
the memes and shit.
Yeah. That point, yeah.
Insensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do, just because, I mean, I shouldn't just say Twitter, but like all of the internet, but I feel like most of the memes come from Twitter for the most part. It's just a wild place. Like nothing is sacred. So like anybody dies, it's instant jokes.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like after a while, like the first few times I saw it, I was like, oh, this is really insensitive. And then, over the years when, Michael Jackson dies and there's jokes. And then when this person dies and there's jokes, and this person dies and there's jokes, and this person is close to death and it's jokes, and after a while you do become like desensitized. And I think it's sad, but it's just the world we live in. So it's like, don't die or people are gonna make fun of you.
That sounds so wild.
That is wild. And the thing is, what the problem that I have is that people suck super fucking bad at separating these two things. Like, so if somebody says such and such got hit by a bus, the shock value is funny. Like the idea of somebody getting hit by a bus is so absurd because we all know how big a bus is and how fragile we are. And so it's like an absurd thing to happen, right? We're not laughing at the person that's actually getting hit by the bus. What happens is people are so bad at understanding the differences between things, the dichotomy between things, is that they start to reverse engineer their logic as to why they think it's funny. And that's when they actually put themselves in the hole and start talking about stuff like, well, that couldn't have been my family. It couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been, this, that, and the third. And they start making up they start talking about stuff that sheds light on their true morality. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I think is horrible.
The funniest, sad to say, the funniest meme that I saw was it was them, couldn't have been, what if it was your family? And then it was like me, my family, and there was a bunch of black people sitting outside the pool, one person sitting in the pool. It was like, dude, we're not getting in that water in the first place. It's like, it couldn't have been my family. Which,
it's like an underlying issue with this situation at itself, because at the end of the day, them people spent $250,000 damn to get in this bitch just to go, 10,000 plus fucking deep in the fucking ocean and go see the Titanic. When you can go down to all the other Titanic museums and shit too. I'm not even, but I mean, it is a sad situation, but God damn, why was y'all even trying to go down there any fucking way?
Because it's been done before. And because it's been done before, people want to. Because you got to think, one of the guys on board, he's broken several records in the Guinness Book of World Records. So this is a distinct type of people.
So they took a legendary ass motherfucker down there.
I mean, it was a lot of legendary. There was Stockton. What is it? Stockton Rush.
There was a British explorer. There was a streamer, I believe. Then there was another guy that was, I believe, from Pakistan, but I don't know exactly what his title was. Mm-hmm. Then there was the CEO of OceanGate, and then the other person was the captain of the ship.
Right.
They ain't do no test runs all the way.
No,
down
I thought
the
CEO and the CEO was the one that was piloting the thing.
No.
Yeah, the Stockton Rush or whatever his name is.
Yeah, for sure.
He was the one that was piloting the thing, and he
potentially. I just know that there was someone that was on there as well that was supposed to be the OceanGate expert. So I thought that was the pilot.
He the expert and the CEO.
Oh, so he was like the tour guide one then.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was. I just knew that there was a CEO and then there was someone that was supposed to be an OceanGate expert. So I thought it was the captain of the thing.
Yeah, okay. Let me Stockton Rush. I was right. His name is Stockton Rush. He's actually the direct descendant of two of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. And on the other side of his family, that's on one side of his family. On the other side of his family, he's descended from another wealthy, I don't remember the name of those guys, but he's descended from another very wealthy and prominent family in the United States. So it's just like, my thing is this, and I'm gonna be very brief about this rant that I'm about to go on. My thing is this. At the end of the day, my gripe is with, once again, people not being able to distinguish between something being funny because of shock value, but also being able on the same hand to turn around and be like, okay, but that was a genuine loss of life, right? We don't hold life to be as sacred as I feel like we should. I feel like we think that it's just this silly thing, like, oh, you went down to the bottom of the ocean and died, that's your fault. What? I mean, the moment that somebody starts saying stuff like that about people gang banging in the hood or some shit like that, motherfuckers got a problem, right? It's because like the people gang banging in the hood ain't have too much more, because this is the thing. If us being black is the only determining factor as to why we weren't doing that, because we say that's white people shit, then the only thing separating you from doing some shit like that is for you to have been born white. You get what I'm saying? And so then you, by your logic, would have been prone to being one of these same motherfuckers going down on these crazy expeditions and getting caught up in some bullshit. So at the end of the day, they didn't have any more choice over the people that they ended up becoming as anybody else does. People follow their own paths and they do their own things, but the things that influence us on our paths to life, we don't choose those things. It's all about how we decide to turn and navigate and do all of this other stuff. And so these types of people were always going to be enthusiasts about something. Like you said, if it wasn't the Titanic, it probably would have been something the fuck else, right? And that doesn't mean that they deserved that. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of billionaire, millionaire, whatever, they could have been pieces of shit individuals. At the end of the day, it was a loss of life. Yeah. And, you know, I do feel bad about that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that people shouldn't laugh at it. Once again, my main point is that people, what pisses me off is they don't know how to laugh at it and also recognize that, yo, that was still some crazy shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to touch on one thing you said earlier when you said they've done it before and they've actually done it. So that's kind of a side thing that's not necessarily as relevant. But one of the creators, I don't know if you've seen it, one of the creators of The Simpsons actually went on that same tour. He went on that tour and then they made an episode about it. And it was about them like diving down and seeing the Titanic and posting it, you know, and then people were coming out making like the reference again, like Simpsons predicted it again and all this other crap. So it was kind of a interesting little tidbit I thought about the creator of Simpsons actually like predicting that as well, because you know they predicted every damn thing so far, and you know having previously done the tour. So like you said,
well-rounded people. Yeah.
So people have been on the thing, but I just in my terms of my eyes, just looking at it, like I said, it just looked unsafe. Like first off, like
it did look very unsafe.
just in terms of like, I don't know, and I'm not a submarine expert at all, and I do not claim to be, but I don't think you're supposed to have a game like I've dropped controllers tons of times, and I'm telling you those things break all the time. Like, come on now,
Yeah.
who plays games here and would have trusted?
To be fair, the Logitech controller is used standardly throughout the military for unmanned. Like, it's funny.
You see that? See what you said though?
It's funny.
Keyword,
Unmanned.
unmanned.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. Those submersibles kind of fall into that same type of operational territory.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
But-
I get, once again,
Yeah.
it's funny, but like, it's still not like, it's not outlandish. It sounds outlandish because we're calling it a submarine.
Yeah,
It's a submersible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people are thinking about like a military submarine and there's some dude down there like,
But that's
just,
even
just looking
but that's
ugly
what-
like
that's what I'm-
crisscross.
but that's what I'm saying. That's even more
saying?
dangerous. That you're like, not only are we going to send you down here with a piece of equipment that's probably a little shoddy in terms of that, but it also doesn't move like a normal submarine and
Yeah,
doesn't
nah.
rise like a submarine.
Yeah.
You know, so there's just that aspect.
Yeah.
But I do want to touch on before we go to the next topic. Just give them some tidbits of it. And you guys feel free to jump in. But so obviously they mentioned today that it had 96 hours, about 4 days worth of air on it. They suggested, or not suggested, that they assumed for that it would have on there. They actually never sent anything down to look for it. So in terms of like, because of how far down it was, they made it very clear. They were like, hey, if we find it, first off, we don't have many.
Hey, it's just funny. It's funny how
Big
you look.
C.
It's funny how you look down.
Yeah.
I imagine them looking down like. I mean,
That's
we
deep.
got.
Oh, ridiculous! I'm like, what?
Oh shit!
I mean, that's a pretty good representation of probably what happened.
Imagine
So-
like let's change the scenery for a second. Imagine you in a
Bruh.
hole and it's a deep hole. And you see them looking up. I mean, you see them looking down. You looking up and they just like, I don't. It's just like,
I only got-
before you play.
I only got so much rope, but that's basically what happened. So they were like, they even made it clear, and this is why I feel like the conspiracy thing I'm gonna bring up comes in a little bit. So when it happened, they pretty much brought up that that it's deeper than most of the normal subs can even go, and getting one over there in that time frame would be a challenge in general of the time frame of the air going out. So there was that, and then they also said that because it's a different size, the docking mechanisms of being able to get it would also be hard. And then they also went on top of that saying that even if they got it all the way up in air and stuff,
Pull this shit up. Keep on going, BC.
even if they got it all the way up, that it's locked from the outside and they would need someone else. So even if they were able to come up and all stuff, they would still have to be found and then let out. So they were pretty much the whole time, they were pretty much like covering their ass, saying like, we're gonna look for them, but we're probably not gonna find them.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything they were saying, and then they found out later, like they sent some robotic like unmanned drones down there to look for them. At 3,000 feet, them bitches imploded. 3,000 feet. There were 13,000 feet down. So you see the difference of like this the drones there. So they were like, they weren't even sending subs and things to look for them. So already they were like screwed in that aspect. And then they were the Navy turned them down. The Navy basically they called the Navy up and they're like, hey, this place is gonna send us like one of the subs and stuff to try and go and get these people and look for them. Can you get it for us? And they was like, nah. Navy just were like, straight up, no.
Yeah.
So like there's so much into it. And then they said later on, like a day or two before, they heard maybe like banging coming from a certain location. They think it was them trying to do like Morse code and echolocation to maybe find them. Like I said, it goes so much. There's so much into the rabbit hole it goes down to. And then the morning of, when they're like, oh, they ran out of air, they conveniently found debris of it. So I feel like that's already personally. And then they were like, oh, they did a whole speech and they were like, they imploded. There must have been a crack or something. They imploded on impact, died shortly after thing. So now they're saying that they died like very, very right away, which I do believe is the case. But I also believe they knew and had all this stuff way beforehand. But for some reason, the media coverage wanted to drag it out for, I'm not sure why.
Views.
So for whether it's view, which I also think is worse than people laughing at the deaths, but I generally think that for views and media coverage and just stories and stuff that they kept it going. Whether people, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing because some people are like, oh, when they're trying to distract us from other things, there's always something else the government's doing.
I'm about to go in on that.
I'm not gonna say all that because I don't know, but I do know that it seems very sketchy that they had all this evidence basically saying that, oh, they're still out there, and then they're just very sure, like, oh yeah, they unfortunately died right away. Right when they're out of air, they didn't want to keep, because think about it, because they didn't even try to keep the search going to get the bodies or the remains or anything like that. Because even if they were out of air, they would be like, oh, we were searching for weeks, we kept looking and things like that to try and find it. They were immediately found debris of it imploding and all this evidence. So that's kind of sketchy in my eyes. But I'm gonna let you get to what you were thinking though.
What were you going to say something?
Yeah, you made a good point about the media views and stuff like that too.
Oh no, I was just saying that. I do feel like, since you said conspiracy theories, if I had to put a conspiracy on it, I personally believe that rich people pay a lot of money to fake their own deaths.
Okay. Okay, why?
To live elsewhere and like live unhindered, I guess, by society, and just
somewhere on an island in Mexico, he's listening
But
to us.
the
He's like,
thing-
damn it, Johnson, they got us.
The thing is, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying the thing about that is, like, that none of those people were known beforehand. I feel like fame would be more of a reason to like fake your own death than like
they probably still pay taxes. Probably tired of that. And like, I mean, if you could get off the grid and just disappear and like just live unknown somewhere, like, just because they weren't famous doesn't mean they weren't unknown. Because if you're a billionaire, somebody knows you.
Yeah, and I get, but
a lot of people.
They had enough money to go on the trip, so I mean, they got something done.
The reason why I doubt it is just because there were multiple people that were still trying to go on the trip, and so I don't see the Stockton rush. The business wasn't even making money because once people paid, they wouldn't go down unless the weather conditions were absolutely perfect, right? So there were people who had not even gone on the trip yet, and on top of that, I don't know. My whole thing about the conspiracy thing, and I'm gonna try not to get too passionate about what I'm about to say. What pisses me off.
Why you be getting mad?
Well, because like the people that screaming conspiracy are going to be the biggest distractions if there ever was one. You know what I'm saying? Like, these the same motherfuckers that was saying that fucking COVID was 5G. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and play that game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to sit up like, nah. Every time we go down this rabbit hole, it ends up not being shit. And it's become very obvious when something actually is something, at least to me. You know what I'm saying? And beyond that, it's like, if someone wanted to distract you motherfuckers from something, you know, it ain't like you motherfuckers are like the owners and y'all have this big businesses and y'all pay lobbyists to come in and affect the political sway and votes and all of this other stuff. You motherfuckers are just regular motherfuckers. If they wanted to distract the masses, they just give out another stimulus check. If they wanted to distract the masses, it wouldn't take a fucking scientist on a submarine imploding underwater to distract the motherfuckers. It's just like, these motherfuckers are, as far as it pertains to conspiracy theories, thoughts. Easy, real easy. Tricks. Conspiracy tricks.
I kind of disagree though, because like, I feel like if you want to distract the masses, you have to distract them with things that are within their reach, as far as like interesting stories, clickbait, if you want to call it that.
It was 4 days worth of coverage.
Like, if you got to distract, like, if you want to distract lobbyists, you would have to really like.
But that's the thing. If they were going to distract anybody, why would it be the mass of people who don't have any power, money, or influence?
Because technically, we're supposed to have influence through our voting situations,
but we don't. I mean, so this is the thing. We have influence through our voting and all of this. Once again, we first have to figure out what the fuck they be distracting us from. But beyond that, it's like the people who have the ability to campaign the hardest, that have the ability to pull up the funds and have the lobbyists and have all of this other stuff. Those are the people like that. Like, it would be different if it was like the biggest opposition to the Republican Party is not the common folks. It's the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? It's the people, and it's not even the baseline of the Democratic Party. It's the people that are coming in and in their face actively trying to stop them from doing whatever the fuck. So it's just like, if there were people trying to distract anybody, it would be them trying to distract each other. We don't have anything to do with none of that.
But imagine, like, if you want to use the term woke, right?
Okay.
So if you have a certain class of people that, if our voting is the tool that that they say it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, all of us decided to wake up and start, voting this way or voting that way, when in reality it's like, as long as we're all distracted by some bullshit, then they can just do whatever they want to do, and we just kind of wake up like, okay, cool, like, oh, they raised the taxes, what do you know? Like, but then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that sometimes it's hard to just disregard something because it sounds absurd when it if you're, like I said, if the four of us decided that we were supposed to, if you wanted to do something with the podcast, right? Say that, you got a big ass sponsorship from Spotify or whatever, and then decided like, I'm gonna keep this money, and then you just came around and said, man, Dre, Cordell said ever since you came on the show, man, shit been going wild as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
I told you that in confidence.
We just sitting there arguing while you just raking in money, and we arguing on camera, and now we getting views, we getting, whatever, and we are distracted by, some bullshit essentially. You know what I'm saying? Is I feel like it's easier to do that than for us to try to distract you from something when like,
my thing is this: whether we are distracted or whether we know what's going on, it's not going to stop them from doing it.
But it should, right? Because voting matters.
If for example, if there was something that needed to be voted on,
right, they
wouldn't be able to make the decision unless we were to vote. The things that people talk about when they go that route, as far as they're distracting us so that they can do all of this other stuff behind the scenes, they would be able to do that stuff whether or not we were paying attention anyway. And so it's just like, they can't make laws or do anything without a vote anyway, or otherwise that's illegal, right? So it's just like, to me, it doesn't seem, once again, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen and it hasn't happened. What I'm saying is, that's not it. I personally don't believe that it would be that. I feel like it would be something that would be more effective to the masses, something like a stimulus check, something like a I don't know, something that would, because national disasters and tragedies to me are things that we like to draw connections to in our minds, because that's just the way our brains work. But tragedies, every tragedy to me doesn't necessarily mean that there was some type of big grand conspiracy to cover something up. Yeah. And beyond that, a week prior, a boat full of immigrants from Libya went missing. It was like 500 or so people went missing on their way to Italy. And people around the world were mad about that, because it was just like, oh, all of these people, these immigrants, are getting far less coverage than these 5 millionaires and billionaires that went missing underwater. And it's just like, so was that a conspiracy to cover? It's just like, the reason why the media coverage for this thing was so big is, one, because it involved the Titanic, but two, because we have this thing where, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be quick. We have this thing where we are more intimate with smaller numbers than big numbers. It's harder for us to empathize with 500 people, but 5 people, oh, that's a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? And not only is it 5 people, but it's 5 people way underwater in something that people do it, but it's 500 people. It's 5 people that went down there to do that, and they're potentially stuck. One's a movie, one's an unfortunate circumstance, and beyond that, we're talking about America. Like, an explosion happened in Italy. I think it was Italy or France. An explosion happened. Not that much media coverage. Like, this happened like a couple of days apart. Another explosion happened in China. That shit blew the fuck up, because China and America are just more relevant on the grand stage of the world than Italy and Libya. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I feel like it's just not safe to get people riled up, because I feel like those are the people that are going to be the ones that are going to be doing the distracting, if anything.
That shit deep. You ain't lying one bit. That shit different. People shouldn't. Damn. You right. China and America is just like.
On the grand scale, it's just
And
like,
then,
yeah, they
man, that shit deep as fuck. But that shit different. Hell no. That shit. I swear,
but I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, I'm just adding nuance to the side that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
But see, I also feel like, okay, so one, I forgot. I think you said that they can't create laws or anything unless we vote. But you do have
some
orders,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what national coverage story it was. It might have been George Floyd or something around that time, somewhere where it was like they said that was happening. We were all talking about that, and they were like, well, Trump just signed like 120 or however many executive orders into law or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm also not saying that I believe everything is a conspiracy or everything is, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's that far-fetched. But I do feel like in this day and age where, you know, likes and views are basically almost like currency, that the conspiracy theorists are just doing things to make us keep watching because they need those views. So it's like it almost doesn't matter what happens. Somebody will come out and make up a story.
You know what I'm
saying? And just say something.
A wise man said, if you're distractible, then you're the problem.
Indeed.
But yeah, I understand all of that. Once again, like I said, I understand where that line of thought comes from. I guess my biggest concern is just like, once again, the nuance of well, we beat that dead horse, man. That horse dead than a motherfucker. What else were you finna say about the rest of this? Because we interrupted you to talk about to go real far on that topic.
I think I was done, or I honestly don't know anymore. Was it?
Yeah,
but
motherfuckers implode. Man.
But
you were just talking about the circumstances of how they went down there and why it was such a bad idea.
No, but you're right. You know, we did talk about a lot as dead horse. But on a brighter note, since we just talked about something so grim, I want to bring up. Did you guys see that one thing about Mark Zuckerberg wanting to fight Elon Musk?
No, I did see that. That would be nice.
I just want to get everyone's opinion on who they think would win, who they bet money on.
I think on betting sites where everybody be doing this shit, I'm gonna go put me down a smooth 300, 350 and go ahead and win me some money.
Who?
Elon got this motherfucker in the bag, bro.
What? Actually, I heard Mark Zuckerberg do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I don't care nothing about that. He ain't hearing about shit. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. His shit go A1. Niggas should be bending on it.
Yeah.
Alright, get up about the hell. Shit, that nigga shit about to bend.
And to be fair, I think Elon Musk is relatively tall.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I know.
I'm putting so you going Elon too?
Yeah. It's different weight classes.
Yeah.
I'm putting I'm getting all of the betting the underdog, and I'm taking Mark Zuckerberg. You know why? Because that motherfucker crazy. You look at his eyes, like how he look like. People say he look like alien stuff. It's the quiet ones you gotta worry about.
Hello, see, it's a what?
You really think that Elon wouldn't invent some type of invention to make himself win?
This man, why we adding weapons now? See, that's a whole different.
They ain't finna bare knuckle. They not finna bare knuckle. This man is gonna make some boxing gloves made out of some legal material, some polymer, some real.
They'll probably fight with AI.
You feel what I'm
some
saying?
new ass shit.
Yeah, and Mark Zuckerberg gonna unfriend him.
No. Elon Musk. You remember them little pins that they had the little frog head or whatever? You press the back of them and they punch out and shit. He'll probably install some shit like that on his back. Be boxing that man.
Listen here.
It's gonna be rap.
It's gonna be exact. Just remember when everyone thought who's that one? Was that
you make a lot of losing bets.
I'm winning. Listen. Remember when Anthony Joshua got beat up by Reese, the big dude, and everyone had thought he was big and tall and was gonna win that, and then that fat dude won. He won the championship and stuff like that. All I'm saying is
what you saying?
That this big ass beady eyes and how he dead face and stuff. He probably murders a few people. All I'm saying is like he He unstable.
Elon could kill.
And I'm betting on the unstable person.
Mark Zuckerberg, I want
added-
you to understand that everybody's
Y'all
opinions
added-
and beliefs on this show only reflect the
Y'all-
individual's
listen,
beliefs and
listen.
opinions.
You know
We
why?
don't believe
delete
it.
our
You know
profiles.
why?
Yeah,
You know
we don't-
why he
we-
wins? You know why he wins? Because you already first didn't even say fighting. Y'all started saying he making inventions and shit. So that already says he needs help. He needs help.
It don't matter.
Giving him
It's
extra
like-
stuff.
it's
Elon's
like-
still gonna beat his ass. I'm not
Why?
going off
But
my
why though? I
word.
just told you.
It's
Mark,
Elon.
Mark Zuckerberg know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
What you think Elon know?
You tell me. You betting on him. You should do your research.
Elon know science, bro. It's raps, man.
Yeah.
He's straight on.
Science
bro.
ain't gonna help you in a fight.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
my third quadrilateral is the parent. Like what? No, what is he gonna fucking do in a fight? No, you're not doing that.
Elon
That man
wins.
Elon gonna look at the man and be like, Y equals MX plus B and slope that man in the head. He gonna find the slope of that man's head. On me, he gonna find that man's slope. Fuck you talking about?
Nigga hit him with a Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
Nah,
Man, gonna
but
teach that man FOIL method. Fuck you
Man,
talking about?
Nigga hit him. Please excuse my dare ass out.
Pimda said.
Yeah, but no, like first, science stuff. I mean, obviously, it's just a random. I don't think it's gonna get done. I just saw some funny thing. I don't even know if it's real. I just saw some funny thing saying like they
Well, if it ain't
accepted
real-
about doing it.
I know what
just
you're
wanna
talking about. I know what you're talking
lighten
about.
the subject up
Yeah.
for this other one.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Hey,
What's the next subject?
He fed over.
He done learned the lesson.
He already fed over my questions, man.
Nah, go ahead. What you want?
I done forgot. Nah, the fuck? You stopping the motion, cuz. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, before we get too far off the subject, I forgot this.
What?
The stepson of one of the billionaires that met his inevitable end.
He was at a concert.
He was at a blink. What is it?
A Blink 32,
yeah.
38. I don't know.
Whatever.
Blank 182.
Yeah.
But he and Cardi
look.
B beefing on fucking Twitter,
I'm
bro.
sorry. Why they beef? How Cardi got at his ass?
Because Cardi was just like, she said something. You know what? I pull the shit up.
Cardi
You know what?
Cardi was like,
She said some real ass shit. I already know she did. Cause ain't no way my billionaire daddy gonna be on the water. And I'm at just a concert, just you feel me, vibe.
Daddy.
My
Billionaire
thing-
stepdaddy gonna be on the water.
My
I'm
thing,
just
I'm
be.
glad y'all can't see what I'm looking at. But my thing is this: it ain't like
It ain't what
that. It's anything intrinsically wrong with what he was doing.
he said.
I mean,
He wanted to go get some vibes.
Can't tell people how to grieve.
He
you feel
said
what
he
I'm
wanted-
saying? My thing is this: if your family is in the media, though, it wouldn't be the best. It's not the most tactful thing to do to like post it.
But this is the
no,
thing. Also,
not at all.
have
You feel what
y'all
I'm saying? It's just like you can do it, but like just be low key about that. Hold that shit down, bro. Don't
Have
tell,
y'all seen the
don't
picture
tell nobody.
You know,
that was
Cardi-
posted?
Sneaking, geeking. She
Have
put
you
that
seen the picture that was posted
all of
About what?
about about this little stepson?
Uh-uh.
Like, I only seen one picture. I don't know how many pictures there, but I seen one picture and one post. Oh, like to be honest, hey, cuz had this little memorable message saying that I know that I shouldn't be here type shit, and this helped with my stress and anxiety. I don't know if he said that all the way at the stress and anxiety point, but he said that, you know what I'm saying, the concerts and shit, Blink helped him through what he's going through. You know what I mean? You know, like how y'all said, if
I seen a quote that said he said he only had $100 to his name.
he also I heard that too.
Listen, bro. If my stepdaddy is a billionaire, and I got $100 to my name. I don't give a fuck about that man. I'm sorry.
That's what Cardi said, though. I'm sorry. That's what Cardi was saying, though. Like, she was saying, like, she'd rather be broke if, you know what I'm saying, I die and, like, folks ain't even, like, really grieving my death like that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that speaks more to what the stepdad was doing than anybody else.
Yeah,
doing.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm a billionaire and I married this woman and she already had a son and he's my stepson and I'm a billionaire
With a B now.
with a big B.
Capital B.
He just wanna be walking around here He's a $100 ass nigga. He's not even $1,000 ass nigga,
Yes.
and I'm a billionaire. Hold on. Understand what I'm saying? We got millionaires. They sons and stepsons ain't $100 sons, $1,000, $10,000. They're at least 100,000 plus sons. You know what I mean? They gonna walk around and have that. for you not to even like, you just paid $250,000 to go underwater, and you got your son out here on land.
I mean, he was in the nosebleeds at the Blink.
It's kind of shaky, man. I don't know how to feel about it.
He didn't even get no good seats.
It's kind of shaky, man. I really don't.
Well, now he gonna have a lot more coming to him.
Now what?
I mean, he probably ain't in the wheel.
Nah, but his mom is.
All right, but look though, we don't got to jump to that. Hey, look, bro, that's too early. We ain't even 20. We ain't even know they been dead 24 hours.
And then 24 hours, you're already like, now who gonna get who shit? How we divvying this up?
I hate that shit. I be ready to fight a motherfucker, bitch. You ain't even been 24 hours. You trying to take some shit?
Hey, well,
everybody call
we ain't getting the money. We the ones arguing.
But I'm just saying.
But
like,
I see what you.
It's just a form of like I don't fuck with that shit, man. That why shit get shaky.
He said that why shit get shaky. And what is this fucking filter she got?
We don't fucking know.
Missing underwater from that submarine shit.
You seen the bitch?
One of the billionaires, their stepson, is at a concert, right? At a Blink-182 concert. And people is like, well, what is he supposed to do? Be sad at the house? Is he supposed to go look for himself? Yes. You're supposed to be at the house sad. You're supposed to be crying for me. You're supposed to be right next to the phone waiting to hear any updates about me. You're supposed to be counseling your mom and shit. Like, isn't it sad that you a whole fucking billionaire and nobody gives a fuck about you? Like you missing and motherfuckers ready to shake dicks at concert. That's crazy. I'd rather be broke. I'd rather be broke than like and poor, but knowing that I'm.
Bro, where the pitch?
Oh, so it wasn't.
Where the pitch at, bro? Where the pitch?
So it was saying that the dad was at the concert.
No,
that's what she was just saying.
No, she said his stepfather was the one that was on the submarine.
I told you wasn't nobody finna understand Cardi.
I couldn't. Well, y'all was also laughing and shit the whole time too, but I was trying to.
There was subtitles on there for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why did when Fred get clapped when he made fun of Cardi, but I can't make fun of Cardi?
What?
I made fun of Cardi earlier.
Because you watch anime. You said you watch anime with subtitles.
I was reading the whole time.
I expect you to be better than
When I made fun of Cardi, y'all was like, damn, man. Why y'all doing
Long story short, man.
That was good. That was good.
Long story short, her in the ninth, and her in the
But it made it sound like the dad. The way she made it sound like when the dad was there, and then the son was the one on the.
I disagree. It never happened.
I might need to watch that again. Like,
you want to rewatch it?
I'm trying to figure out what exactly. I don't know if I'm wrong now or if I just understand what Cardi be saying.
I feel like you piece stuff together. It's like you can you take something.
So look, what are you laughing at? So bro, look,
if y'all play it again without talking, I can hear it.
Hold on, let's see. Hold on. So that whole time that damn video was going with Cardi talking,
I was listening.
He was thinking about what he was going to say.
Yeah, but look,
I literally was trying to listen, and y'all was talking the whole time.
But hold on, so look, all of us understood everything that Cardi said. But look though,
what did she say then?
This the only thing though.
What did she say?
You didn't read not one word.
I was reading the whole. I was reading the whole.
You read the whole thing.
I was reading the whole thing. But
let's rewind, bring it back to the video.
Y'all was also talking the whole time, and then when she said "shake dick hands," y'all was giggling through that, and it was throwing me off.
Headphones off.
I was trying to listen.
This filter is.
I think y'all was laughing at the filter too.
Missing underwater from that submarine shit. One of the billionaires, their stepson, is at a concert, right? At a Blink-182 concert. And people is like,
pause it.
Well, what is he?
She just said their stepson is at the concert, not him.
What point did you think you were making?
What?
I said, what point do you think that you're making right now?
Because I just said, was the stepson at the concert? Y'all said no. He was on the boat.
You said, was the dad at the concert?
That's because she said the stepson was at the concert, and then y'all said no. Y'all got the thing recorded. Y'all can play it back. Y'all can play it back. Y'all can play it back.
Y'all can't play it back right now.
No, I know, but y'all really said earlier, y'all laughing, but that's why I said it didn't make any sense. Because it was the son.
All of y'all screen recorders out there.
Because the son, she literally just said the son was on the boat and at the concert. She said both of them. And that's why I was like, am I
Cardi, bro? She
exactly why I asked y'all. And then y'all said the opposite.
They're going to say.
missing underwater from that submarine shit. One of the billionaires, their stepson, is at a concert, right? At a Blink 182 concert.
Yeah.
And people is like,
but then what I'm saying
well, what
is,
is he supposed
I asked y'all, was the stepson on the thing? And y'all said yes. And then y'all said the reverse of it. That's why I was confused.
So you saying like right here on camera, look into one of these cameras. Because you ain't gonna lie on me.
I ain't lying on y'all.
You gonna lie on a lot of stuff.
I ain't lying on
You
nobody.
don't gotta lie on me.
We was all just sitting right here.
And
Like,
Y'all,
I was there, you were
Bruh,
there.
I want you to look into one of
Well,
the
I
cameras.
think you
I'm
might. I think you
saying-
may have accidentally misspoke.
I'm saying
I think you may have. I think you may have been
I
asking
think-
about the
Don't give him
stepson,
no
but I feel
gratitude.
like you asked about the father.
you did.
I feel like y'all was laughing and then said something and didn't heard me fully properly.
You don't even know because you was laughing through the video. You didn't hear that correctly either.
I did hear it.
So you mean to
Because then I
tell
asked y'all about it. Y'all
So-
said something different.
So you mean to tell me these three intellectuals that's around you right now, you calling them wrong? You calling them like, oh, absolutely.
Hey,
like
man.
we sit here telling you what you said, but you want to sit here and absolutely tell us that we're wrong.
The
I'm not
real
saying
question
absolutely,
is why
but-
is Cardi B making this video like she's some type of news reporter? Bro?
she do that a lot.
I don't know.
Is she starting a podcast?
But this is the thing. This is the thing. The dude responded to Cardi B essentially saying, and this was on Twitter, essentially saying, that she's basically a pathetic person because she's commenting on that, and he was talking about how he grieves, and then he said, that her
He
career.
grieves by going to concert.
He
Can't tell nobody how to grieve.
You can't tell nobody how to grieve.
I mean,
But then-
yeah, but that's
But he's
But then,
That's
but
not
then
grieving.
he said her career that she has to do what she's doing in order to get clout off of him. Stop, bro.
nah.
Hey,
Stop, bro.
But-
he said that.
But
Stop.
but why else is she making this video, bro? Like
Because
why,
he's a person.
why is
because,
she not in the studio?
Because she's a person,
Well,
bro. She's not just a musician.
she's
She's
a-
just
Man,
a person,
don't
bro.
Don't nobody give a damn what Cardi B got to say about no political
she
situation,
is
no
a-
news.
Cardi,
nothing.
we ain't defaming your name.
She is
It's no
allowed to
problem.
do that though.
We love you. I know about your song with Lotto. It's on the radio. You get played every day.
All I'm saying is
I
that
know.
she's just a person.
No,
man.
she
like
is,
everybody
she
else.
is
bro.
allowed to do that because it's the same thing when like LeBron remember when LeBron was responding to them political things and the news people were like, just shut up and dribble, and they was getting mad at him. You don't remember that?
I do remember that.
No,
That
they
is what
told him
said.
that. Jay said
They told Bron.
They told yeah, it was a
Probably
big
Candace
thing.
Owens.
They told it was
No,
yeah,
it was
it
it
I
wasn't
think it
Candace
might have been.
Owens.
I think
No,
it was Candace Owens.
It was one of those white women. I think it was like her name was like Megan something.
No, it was the
Or
cute
Lauren
one.
something.
Yeah, Tommy Lauren or whatever.
Yeah, one of them basically told him to shut up and dribble, and it
Yeah.
was like a big thing because they were like, because he was a basketball player, he can't be political. So I mean, like, so I get it. I mean, she's allowed to like, you're
This
allowed to
isn't
comment.
political.
Everyone, I know, true, but I'm saying she's allowed to post videos and things like that. She's probably just bored. or
And
just
you
wants to
wasn't
comment
being
on it, bro.
serious with that weird ass filter on.
No, okay. That is a very fair point. That is a 100%
I mean-
fair point. If you're gonna talk about trying to like defame someone for like not taking something serious and then post a
gonna
video
do it
of
with a
you
demon on your
and then
back?
post a video of
Use
you
some
not
words.
taking the video serious.
That
It
was
is-
a funny
it
filter.
is
though.
kind
And
of-
she
it
was
is
talking
kind of
like it was
ironic.
just not there.
That's what I'm
but
saying,
she, I
like,
know
come
she
on,
saw
bro.
it. You know,
No,
like she looked.
You looking dead at it.
You was 100% correct. You can't,
Nah.
you can't talk to
outta
someone
here.
about something serious and make fun of them about not taking it serious and then have that
I don't think
filter
she was
on.
making fun. I think that her
No.
point was that she probably just made horribly was that she would rather be poor. I think what she said at the end was like the main thing.
No,
like
I get her
because it is
point.
true. It's like
No, yeah,
fair.
I get her point, but like what he's saying though is like she's talking about saying, you know, you need to be sadder, you need to have, and she's like, take this. She's saying take this serious, but she's sending out a video where she's not taking it serious. That actually has like,
well, shit
the
ain't got
demon
nothing to do with
filter
her.
stuff.
Nah, I hear what you're
True.
saying. Like that, she wasn't trying to like report it. She was just saying
Yeah.
she would hate to be in that situation where none of her family cared, which is a crazy assumption to make because one person went to a con. We don't know what the fuck the rest of his family is doing.
It is a crazy assumption to make, and I can't defend that. But you know, at the same time,
it also is crazy to go to a concert when you're, you know, stuff. But
it's not just that. He also like right after a tweet, he tweeted about the situation. Then right after that tweet, he reposted another tweet that an OnlyFans girl made that said, "Can I sit on you?" And he reposted it and said yes. Once again, there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, son, I'm with you, bro. Your mind is in the right place. You're
Well,
doing everything
Heal,
right.
my nigga, heal.
You feel what I'm
You-
saying?
if-
Your mind is in the right
if it's-
place.
well,
Just don't put that. You just gotta. gotta be tactful about what you're doing. I agree. Hey, do your OnlyFans thug. You feel me? Just don't do it so loud so folks ain't gotta talk about
like
it. You feel what
y'all,
I'm saying?
like Dre's was saying earlier, like, you know, if you a billionaire and you lost and you ain't got $100 to your name and that's your stepdad, is like, why give a fuck? You call like, I'd be feeling some type of way too. Like, I mean, I don't think Sad would be on his damn mind.
But like, I don't know, like,
because he probably don't feel. He probably might not. Again, I don't know.
He
that,
doesn't love
but
his. He ain't love his. I ain't here to just speak for people and like tell anybody how to grieve, but fuck this shit. He ain't love his fucking.
That's. I mean, yeah, that don't seem like
I
anyone.
don't care. I don't care who you are. Like,
I mean,
I don't know. I ain't gonna say that. I feel you entitled to feel that way. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think that's something that you can accurately speak on because it's just like,
yeah.
you know, people's family dynamic is different. Doesn't mean that love ain't there. It just means that the dynamic is different.
Oh yeah,
he
we
could
don't
have also
know.
married his mom when he was 30.
Oh,
True.
okay.
No,
we don't
yeah.
know how old that dude is.
No,
Yeah.
true. Like
Yeah.
you're saying. I mean,
Yeah.
but I do believe actions speak louder than words too.
Could have been last
Yeah,
year.
like-
they just got married. He's like, I
But
don't even know this
like,
nigga.
I can't.
All right, that submarine is underwater. Let's talk about that was a horrible joke. That's a horrible joke, and
Where is it, Warren?
it's down there. That might have been a bad joke, but I'm
Too soon.
I don't
I'm-
give a damn.
I'm not talking about the tragedy of the people. I'm talking about the
submersible.
the absurdity of the event. Let's get down there. I'm gonna skip this YNW Melly shit. The Zendaya thing though, bro. Like people were talking about that shit. Tell me how y'all feel. Y'all know about it?
I saw the memes of like her kissing the dudes from the thing, and I think we covered this last week about it, which is actually funny because we talked about this last week in your relationship and having to be professional and having to see your partner kiss and do all these other scenes with other people. But I've been seeing so many like, you know, memes of like Tom Holland just sitting there like crying and doing things.
Which is that I hate that shit. So this is my thing. I got a hot take. Y'all can disagree. I'm standing 10 toes down on this hill.
hot take.
This is about I will die on this hill.
Oh. This is serious.
From what I saw.
What you saying?
I seen people saying stuff like Tom Holland watching his whoever get a train ran on her and shit like that. I am of the firm belief that there's a difference. No, there's a difference between someone getting a train ran on them and a threesome.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but she also it was for, you know, a trailer.
So what are you saying?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people
And don't interrupt them no more because we ain't getting the point.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
I didn't even interrupt him. I
did that time, man.
It's fucking with me that I can't
didn't even do it after him.
What I'm saying is that like a threesome, in my opinion, is when all parties involved are having sex.
Okay.
And it's like I feel like if you running a train on somebody, you have two people
You got niggas waiting.
that are fucking
You got people waiting in the background.
and I feel like you're fucking one person who may be getting pleasure from it, but you and the other people fucking are doing it for the express enjoyment of yourself.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a train or threesome. It was just like
No, they were sitting down on the bed and she kissed both of them. Like,
was
that was-
It didn't go
It was
far
crazy.
enough for us to
that's
classify
what
it.
I'm
Right,
saying.
yeah.
I feel like
It did not look like the
people
premise
were
of a
just
train.
using the words trains and threesomes to
But
make it
then
sound
I know, but I'm
worse.
just talking
Yeah.
about the way that society views that.
So
when
what
they
we
see-
say? So what we say to this right here then? If you saying that okay, threesome is a threesome, it's three people, two fucking shake, cool. But you saying in order for it to be a train, we need the other people that's waiting to come straight on in.
Not just waiting, but like I feel like if you running a train on somebody, y'all doing that for y'all's own express enjoyment of yourself. You're not trying to please this girl. You just fucking just to fuck. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like we come in and we running you. You feel what I'm saying? Because I know two people that at A&M that they described to me what they did to a dude. These are two women. What they did to a dude, and I'm like, that's the fucking train, bro.
Freshman year.
I'm not getting too deep into
The-
it. I'm not getting too deep into it. What I'm saying though, when I heard it, I was just like,
shit.
I was like, that's a train. The nigga, the dude ain't nut. The dude didn't come. You feel what I'm saying? Like he ate.
Damn.
He was the primordial munch. You feel what I'm saying? Like this dude was
The
the.
munch strikes again.
Bruh.
Go ahead, my brother.
No, I'm just saying, like you like to me. I feel like it's fair for you to say that they ran a train on Buddy. Like
Yeah,
y'all fucked on Buddy. Y'all got off.
First of all, if you
But then we been in the
two
curve.
and you
now.
couldn't make that good. Like what?
I don't know. My thing is this, and I don't. Once again, I don't know. I don't know. It's some facts in that I'm not sure.
What
about.
a time
But
to
what-
be alive.
But this is the only thing that I will concede on. Maybe we're getting caught up in semantics. Maybe I am, because maybe the train is supposed to allude to like penis and tunnel. Maybe. But my thing is this, even if that's the case, we have a word for that. It's called spit roasting.
I feel like
You feel what I'm saying?
I feel like this got very off topic really quick. Weren't we talking
It's
about
not
Zendaya?
off topic.
Like,
We are talking about Zendaya
but
still.
there was no threesome.
But look though,
We're talking about the way that
they're
people-
alluding
I
to
feel
that.
like we
They're
could-
alluding to the
I know.
threesome that's happening.
I feel like we could have just talked about that in general without throwing Zendaya.
I mean, nah, but I mean, it's,
No,
with,
we use-
it's with the
it's her
trailers.
movie.
that
and
it's alluding.
I
Yeah.
got the idea from seeing people talk about it and talking about Tom Holland watching this girl get a train ran on her. You feel what I'm saying? It's just like,
And then I seen it on Facebook too, talking about some niggas that trying to find out the fucking movie, the same niggas that trying to go see a train get put on Zendaya. And then I seen multiple girls say threesome. That's all they said. They ain't say shit up threesome. So even when he coming from that, so I just want to ask the real question. Like, I'm trying to understand.
I mean, because it is.
Because you know, like, I'm from the hood, not the streets, just the hood. But if like
There's a difference, y'all.
Yeah, it is like, and how they classify that shit in the hood. I mean, they classify that shit like at the end of the day, two niggas and a girl train out the gate. But look though, but I'm trying to understand. So if one was saying that if it takes this to be a train, so what if it's three niggas and a girl?
as long as they are all, as long as they're all deliberately trying to please whatever, you feel what I'm saying? To me, it's just a humanizing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's the
So
way
it
I look at
changed.
it.
There's actually
this-
you could actually just look that up. There's the actual amounts on it because I'm pretty sure like for something to be considered like for instance, there's
Fuck Google in the dictionary. We in the hood with straight facts. What? They lying.
What are you talking about?
it's still straight
but
fact.
no, you're right. Go
But
ahead.
like it's because it's the same thing for like you can't say I had a threesome. Like, all right, who was the third? What third? It was just me and my girl. Like you can't it was like, but you just say you had a threesome. Yeah, it was me and her, but I just say it's three. That's what I'm saying. There is a literal like amount
But,
to
alright,
it.
so like I say it like
So-
this.
But I'm
in niggas' turn. In your turns, if you
I
was to
think
have
I think that's actually what I'm combating. Like the way that
it
people
has to
socially
be because it
talk
has to
about
be.
it.
Because like niggas' turns, like even for any of us on these couches right now, if we talking about a threesome, we're gonna be talking about us and a bitch.
yes,
Out
but
the gate.
but-
Just out the gate. So that's even just like if we talk about like a train. Out the gate in our heads, like I don't know where this shit come from, but it's me. Homie, or something.
I'm sorry. A threesome is three people.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There's literally like you have you can go by numbers up. If you have
Man, let me
if
do
you
some
have
research. Let me
if
see
you
some of
have
this
if
shit
you have
here.
3 people, if it's 2 guys and a girl, it's called the devil's threesome. If it's 2 girls and 1 guy, it's a threesome.
Hold on,
If it's
what
4
it's called?
It's called the devil's threesome. I'm trying to tell y'all these names. And they all
learning.
listen. I was trying this. Y'all kept getting interrupting me. Y'all was like, I'm interrupted. I've been interrupted like 6 times. If you have 4 people, if you have 4 people, like say it's 2 guys and 2 girls, it's just a foursome. Anything after 4 doesn't. Anything after 4, if you have even amounts, it's called a
Orgy.
It's an orgy. And then if you have say like 4 girls and 1 guy, it's called a harem. And if you have 4 guys and 1 girl, it's a gangbang. There's a different.
What was?
How the
what
fuck you
led
know all of this shit out
I
the
was gonna
gate?
say like, why did you research this?
Philosopher
I
Fred,
didn't
ask him.
research this.
You
I
know
just
what-
know
you
this
know what-
shit.
you know what
y'all
Big
was
say-
y'all brought it up. I'm trying to tell y'all about it. but
I ain't
y'all
gonna
interrupted
shame
me.
you for knowing all of that shit. That shit fire.
I just know
That
it.
shit
Like
fire.
I mean, but it's the same number. Like once you get to a certain amount, it's the same. So like you could have, but like you said, I think you need at least 3 dudes and 1 girl, and then it would be considered like a train or something, or gangbang. And those are synonymous. Those are the same terms basically. But if you have say 10 guys and 1 girl, it's still a train. It's still a gangbang. If you have 20 guys, it's still that. So after you get past that threshold, it's the same thing.
But like, so I
But-
kind of agree with that. Like, so like, as I feel like there's no way. I'm not gonna say there's no way. unless it's like very well orchestrated and over a period of time. Like
And I also know a lot of people that run in those circles.
You ain't gonna really like
You hang with them people?
have a girl and
Some
10
of-
guys without some of them fucking just for the express pleasure of themselves. You
I've-
feel what I'm saying?
I've been-
So it's just like
I've been with a few girls that been married and things like that. That like, well, gotta come over in that circles and shit like that.
Hold on now.
They talk- I ain't gonna get up to it a bit, but I mean,
But
You're
you know, they
wild-
say that's like
you're
a
wild
a
munch,
lot of people
let's
say that's
see.
a fantasy for women. Is
You
to
said
have
what?
2 guys.
it's the same thing.
I
for
personally,
us, bro.
I
That's-
personally know women that's like that. Just
Yes,
like
bro.
fantasies and stuff like that.
Yes,
They tell you
bro.
that stuff.
Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. So I think once again, my only contention was just the way that people automatically jump to the idea that if you see a girl and 2 guys, train like that, like because it's just like you. I feel and my bad. Let me give the impetus behind why I have these feelings, and it's just simply because of the derogatory nature in which dudes view female sexual promiscuity versus male promiscuity.
Oh, absolutely. It does sound way worse when you're like, oh, like.
Yeah.
But I will say though, nowadays it's not as serious because like
Shitting
you'll see and I'm gonna explain why. Nowadays, how many videos you see in of girls, like I can tell you like 10 videos off the top of my head of like the guys that are going out interviewing these girls, and there's this one guy, this black guy who does it, and he's like, name a secret you haven't told anyone, and they're like proudly saying like, oh, in college I cheated on my boyfriend and let 5 dudes hit and all those like all the other ones, and OnlyFans is popular now to where it's like now they're just promoting their OnlyFans and other things like that to where like back in the day if a guy was mad at a girl and he leaked her nudes, it was a big deal and he was an asshole. And now girls,
way to get
woman get her
famous.
nudes leaked, she gets famous and shit, she's $20 a month. Like they don't care about it. Like no, but I'm
Shit,
for real.
fine.
I'm like for real though. Like I know so many people.
You said the tables be turning.
I'm just saying like it is derogatory, and I agree with everything you just say, because as a guy you want to hold up that standard and not view them in that way. And you're saying like people saying, oh, that's a train run at them or something along those natures is basically saying talking down her. But I'm saying in the same terms, I've been hearing girls like not even care about it anymore. I've seen open arguments on Facebook where girls and stuff were like, oh, like I let you run a train on me and hit with all your homeboys and all that other stuff. And I'm like, why are you leaking your private business on here? Like,
I think that that's a little different though, because I feel like those are those might be actual trains.
True, but I'm saying
I'm not saying that trains don't exist.
I'm still saying though. I've seen videos and also things of people like interviews from like Facebook and different things, and they're boldly saying it themselves. They're throwing that about themselves out. Like the same 2 girls that you said that told you about that. Why would they go out of their way to be like, oh yeah, I let all these other dudes? I mean, like they're proudly saying that shit. It's not something that they're hiding. Like they're.
I think it's like throughout history it's been this kind of up and down thing where because women in certain areas of the world throughout history have always been promiscuous, and which is why you have a lot of men throughout history doing everything in their power to control that power that women have to be promiscuous. So it's just I feel like at some point, I'm not gonna put a time period on it, but I feel like history is kind of going like this. I feel like there was a time where women and men were what they were. I feel like there was some small dick niggas that was upset because they weren't getting play, and they rose to power because they weren't getting no play. I mean, you got to think about it.
Yeah,
People like people. But you got to think about.
That's so crazy.
I think fucking Isaac Newton was a virgin. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like.
No, I know. There's truth in what you're saying. It's
So
just
it's just
playing
like-
your hair.
You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like it was people like that
different.
rose to power and they were just like, hey, you know what? We're gonna put all of this stuff in where you got to control these women, and so I can have mine and stuff like that.
That's
And-
different.
And once again, this I'm not the whole world was. I'm talking about like because there were some places where women have always been oppressed. I'm just saying there were some places I believe where women were more liberated than you think. Almost up to today's standards. I don't think that it's too far-fetched. When you watch movies, and maybe this is something you shouldn't do, but I feel like when you watch movies and even when you read books about like the orgiastic behavior of like the ancient Greeks and Romans and shit. And it's just like they used to do a whole lot of weird shit with sex. They used to have prostitutes and hoes, and hell, they say hoeing is the oldest occupation. You feel what I'm saying? Motherfuckers been selling ass since we was exchanging shit.
On the Silk Road, we got carrots, we got peaches, and then we got peaches.
So it's just like,
thank you, Fred.
so yeah.
That's so road.
Yeah, I'm off of that. I'm not gonna rant this entire episode. I feel like I've been ranting this whole episode.
I want to add one last thing to that because I feel like everything. Because I agree with everything you said. I feel like there's also like a small little double standard too. Because like you said, like guys will say about
No pun intended.
Guys will say like, you know, oh, like she's a hoe because she's like doing gangbangs or getting trains and stuff on her. But then like if you asked him, he's like, hey man, you want to join in on it? He probably like, how many dudes gonna be like, oh hell yeah, well she's down. Like, you know, it's the same people that are like into that as well, I think, because there's very few people that I know that
some niggas be hating outside the club and can't get in, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
Facts.
I feel like that's like the double. So it's the same thing with the women's body count, where guys are like, they're like, oh, I can have like a really high body count, but she's got to have like.
Would
like
you
five.
want to join in?
Huh?
Would you want to jump in one?
No, but I'm also not. No, I'm saying I say no, but I'm also not into that.
Into what? Sex?
No, I'm definitely into that. But I'm saying
That's
like
what I'm saying. So
I'm
you
gay.
just
I don't
stay
want to
in
be.
line?
I don't want to be there with like 10 dudes and one.
Yeah,
girl.
I wouldn't be
That's
a
what I'm
part
saying.
of a train.
I'm not.
I
I just want to go first.
Like
I wouldn't be a part of no train.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. But
You
if you
go
were like,
first, you in the club.
if it was like a threesome, if it was a threesome, I'd be like, okay, bad. But then you start adding 1, 2, 3, too many guys. I'm like, what? Like, no, that's
a lot of dicks.
that's a lot of like no.
I wouldn't.
But I'm saying the
I don't
same
know.
people
I ain't
that.
going for it when she try to add another dick in the damn situation. I'm done. There you go. You got it, man. I'm gonna slide back.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone's got limits and stuff. But I feel like there's a lot of people that also talk shit about it, but also if given the situation would like be like down. But that's not everyone. You know.
Speaking of what we're actually talking about, because this is actually a very good transition into motherfucking memes and things. Let's get into it. I got this whole thing here about is virgin fetishization pedophile adjacent behavior.
Ooh, that's a very deep topic. Actually.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah.
You know what? And I said when I write this question down, what I was writing, I said Fred is gonna highly disagree with me. I said this gonna be with me and Fred.
I think. Well, actually, Fred, you go first. My bad. I wasn't trying to interrupt.
No,
Hold on,
I
but
didn't
pay
even
it-
have a comment. I just nah.
but hold on, let me read let me read it again because I want to be very clear about what the question is. It's not asking if it's pedophile behavior. I was asking pedophile adjacent behavior.
So I feel like that's implying, and I feel like Fred maybe thinks the same. It's implying that they're very young because they're virgins or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And that's not necessarily the case because you could be 25 and be a virgin. You could be 30, such and such. Now I feel like the question is a little bit misleading because we assume with kids having sex younger and younger, and people getting pregnant at 14 and 13 and all these other ages, it's assuming that like, oh, you want, because I personally know people that are like women that are like, oh, I lost my virginity at 13, 14, 15, etc., things like that.
Mhm.
So I feel like it makes you at first, because before Fred said nah, I was kind of like, dang, is that's what I was saying. I was like, that's kind of interesting. But then I was like, nah, when he said, I was like, that makes sense because we're just assuming that people are fetishizing that virginity comes with youth.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the whole.
But
like,
do you believe that it's possible for dudes to do that? Because you got to think about this: maturity isn't necessarily tied to age; it's also tied to experience.
true, but if you're gonna tell someone, like, you know how pedophile that sounds, is like, I know she's 15, but she's very mature. Like that's
But no, exactly. That's the
Like,
point. So the
you
fact
know?
that we're able to do, the fact that we know that there are people that are able to do that, right?
Yeah, they confuse themselves or tell themselves the wrong thing so they can make okay with their decisions. But
I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know what you just said. What, say that again?
I say they talk themselves into this belief that that's why it's okay. So
Okay.
they're okay with their decisions, not
Okay.
looking at that it's actually like,
Being a
wrong.
pedophile.
Yeah, or being that. So I would say I agree with Fred. I'm gonna say no as well, but I also do get what you're saying because I'm, like I said, like women are currently usually have sex earlier than guys. That's just a fact. The average age of look it up. The average age of women that lose their virginity, I believe, is from the ages of like 14 to 16, and men is about 18 and 19.
How much of that is a result of sexual assault though?
That I do not have the answers
That's a
for.
huge
That I do not
thing,
have
bro.
the answers for.
You went nuclear, Fred. I'm not gonna make.
He
that
went
joke. I'm not about to make that joke. I'm not about to. I've already offended enough.
But
Yeah.
I would say that that also
Yeah, I
people
mean,
people have sex with like there is a weird thing that people are like, oh, I want to have sex with a virgin to be her first time because they're like tighter, certain things of that. And I personally,
It's not true.
I personally never had sex with a virgin, but I've never had the desire to. Also, because it's like I don't want to teach her every fucking thing. Like I don't want her to be like, because like first, like no one enjoys their first time. Like whether you're a guy or girl, it's not. It's like.
And I think I disagree with that player.
Yeah,
My
I
first-
definitely
I ain't gonna lie to
disagree.
you.
I had fun. I had fun.
Alright.
Well, I had a hell of a time. What you talking about?
Anyway,
All right.
my point being is that I feel like
She had fun too. Go ahead. Go
I,
ahead.
Mine
Anyway.
was older.
my point being, now y'all got me forgetting.
What's your
what I was gonna
point?
say. Oh, y'all got me forgetting now. Y'all kept.
Your point was that week. You couldn't remember?
No, I can't remember now.
For
Y'all-
damn.
no.
I'm sorry.
I ain't
I
gonna lie.
apologize.
I think that like I feel like people hate tradition so much that they say outlandish shit because being a virgin. What I mean, I guess in historically, guys did used to get married. Really, I mean, they used to marry women very young.
Yeah.
So that is probably why they were virgins.
Mary Magdalene was 14 when she was impregnated by the Holy Spirit.
Mary is 14.
Listen.
I never knew. We talking about. I never knew. Look, hold on. For real,
Y'all
for real,
see,
for real.
that reminded me that me.
What the fuck?
I just
I ain't gonna laugh.
snuck a nuclear bomb into.
Hey, this shit just exploded. Hey, bro, check this shit out. Check this shit out, bro. I was real ass shit. So, she was 14.
Let's not get stuck on that. Keep going, Fred.
Yeah, y'all gonna let Fred forget what he gonna say.
Bruh, we
I'm
want to
not,
know
'cause
about
I-
this now.
Hold on.
I feel a way about it just because like I feel like people sometimes
They were doing this shit before Christ.
sound like anyway, I feel like people hate tradition so much that they say just weird shit. And to say that wanting a virgin is pedophile adjacent, to even bring it up is like, you know, a guy could say I want a virgin because I want to be like you said, the first person, you know, to be with this woman. I want to be the only person to have been with this woman. It's the same in my head. It's the same as saying, if I don't have kids, I don't want to marry somebody else with kids, or I don't want to start a family with somebody who already started a family with somebody.
That makes
So I feel like that
But
statement.
what if
would
the
be
dude?
made.
I'm sorry. What if the dude himself is not a virgin? Because that would be the equivalent of someone with kids saying that they don't want to marry a woman that has kids. Also,
That's fair too.
I literally know a woman that has kids, and she's like, "Oh, I won't date a guy with kids."
I know,
I'm
and,
like,
and I think
what
I
kind
think
of double
I think all of that
standard
shit is
is
weird.
that?
But to be fair,
So funny.
I want to be very clear about the wording. People who, because I feel like what you're saying is fair.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about people who just by tradition, that's just kind of like the standard that their religious beliefs or whatever uphold, even though I may not agree with it. I'm talking about you have people who fetishize it. You get what I'm saying? That it's just like she has to like if you have more than 2 or 3 bodies under your belt, you ain't no good. It's dudes that actually think like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like everybody's entitled to their preferences.
So I like what Fred was saying. I like both you guys' points. What you were saying though, because like there is 2 sides to it. There's the part of overly fetishizing it, because a lot of actually, if you look at it, a lot of serial killers did the whole thing to where it's like they only killed or looked for girls that who were virgins and stuff. There is some fetishizing even about if they weren't having sex with them, that's who they went after. You see a lot of times in movies and stuff where like someone's got to be sacrificed. They always have to be a virgin. It's always brought up. But it's the same thing, like what you were saying, is like there's because it's you could be very religious and just be like, you have the whole right to choose from that. You're like, I'm celibate and I want my girl to also be a thing for whether they're religious, and that was the same case. But I feel like you also said, like, we got into a time frame to where it's like people are just overly fetishizing. People are like, oh, like it's got to be someone that's a virgin, and most of the time
prefer, like most dudes like prefer. Not most dudes, but you got some dudes who are hyper conservative. It's just like my preference is a
So
virgin.
then we get to where this is a touchy subject on both sides, because now, like I said, women's natural virginity age is, between that like 14, 16 age range. So now to find that perfect person that they, at that age, because if you're waiting for marriage or one of those situations, there's very few women nowadays that are, Christian. Even if you consider yourself Christian, they still have sex before marriage and things like that. And you're not going to find them that, later in life at 21 and stuff like that. You still can, but it's not as likely. So then you have the weird guys that are now using that as the same excuse to, we're like, well, now I got to find them when they're young. And then you get into the whole grooming aspect. And that's the problem we come in today as well. They were like, oh, well, who was it just a little while ago that married somebody? Oh crap! Oh, this is gonna suck because I can't remember the name. But it was a big story a few years ago about someone being 18 and they were like, I think it was a guy and there was a girl, and they were like, but they knew their dad or something when they were like 15 or something, and then they got married at like 19, but they started dating at like 18, but he was like 30 or something like that, and they were basically like, so you were talking to him the whole, and I don't want to say my guess of what it was because I don't want to be wrong, but that was a recent story, and I can't remember.
I think I heard about that too.
Yeah, but to be fair, I guess not to be fair, to be a little bit ageist.
I want to say one last thing. I think, and I'm not entirely sure, maybe you remember it, but I think it was something in Billy Ray Cyrus. I think it was that was it. That was it. I remember. Y'all know Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Her friend that was on Hannah Montana
Yeah.
was on the show, and she had actually said later, because Billy Ray Cyrus ended up marrying her, and they said, when did you two meet? And she was like, oh, I actually met him when I was on the show of Hannah Montana, and she was like 15 or 16 or something then. And then they got married later, so they were basically saying there was a whole big conference like, oh, was he grooming her, even though they didn't have sex and stuff like that. Well, allegedly, we don't want to throw that stuff in there.
I mean, they're married.
Well, I mean, yeah, now, but I'm saying from back then.
Maybe. And my thing is this. I feel like when I think about an 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22-year-old person, child isn't the right word. But like looking at them now and looking at who, and then like putting myself in that position, I'm like, yo, you are like just an aged kid.
But you also are like much older than them. So it's like, if someone's like, obviously,
I think that's the point that I'm making though.
20.
Because you have 30-year-old
18,
dudes like just like looking for like, she got to be like 18, 19, 20, 21.
It's the
being fucking predators, bro.
I feel like it's the manipulation factor. So women are naturally attracted to, and obviously I want to keep saying preference, not all women, but naturally.
There you go. That's good communication. We on track now.
Women usually are attracted to older men.
For sure.
It's more financially stable. They're more further in life. They have careers. They have other stuff going for them, etc. They're more
got hair on their chest.
So yeah. And then so other guys around that same age range, they guys like dating younger women on average, and you can see that statistically wise, whether they're celebrities or whatever, they date younger women and stuff like that.
My wife older than me.
So they dating down in the same aspect. Girl's looking for someone older, he's looking for someone younger, and then it matches up. And then you have the whole thing to where it's like, I also feel like they can manipulate them because you know less. Because I can't tell you how many times, and you guys have all had girlfriends. I can't tell you how many stories you've like sat there and listened to an ex or someone say like, oh, my boyfriend was X amount of years older than me, and I was trauma bonded to him because I thought that's what love was, and I only knew how to do this stuff because he did this, and I stayed so long because he made it sound like that. And I feel like that happens a lot too. So there's another aspect of why they're going for some people younger and younger. When then you get into that whole aspect of like, this is what you said, are they fetishizing virgins and going for that, but they're using that as an excuse to,
Yeah.
Fathers, love your daughters.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, most stuff is not black and white. And I don't want to make it shut up. I don't want to make it seem that way. Of course, you have some people that just it might genuinely be a preference, and I personally don't get no fuck. I'm with you. It's just like I ain't that whole virgin shit never really even was a real thing for me. Like, it's just like, nah, you coming over here, you don't know what the fuck you doing.
Yeah, that's always how I looked at it.
My bad, go ahead.
Oh no, my bad. I was just saying I've never looked at it as like, I've never seen a girl was like there's the whole joke about like with the I'm gonna get shit for this with the whole like
Then why are you about to say it? I'm about to save you right now.
Hey, no,
just don't say it.
I was for real.
I tried.
He don't give a fuck.
I don't.
I tried.
I don't. But no, because it's a fact though.
Go ahead.
There's the Islamic religion, right? They get like
Okay.
they get 72 virgins and stuff when they die. And I've always thought that was funny because I was like, man, I don't want to have to train 72 of these bitches. Like that's a lot. You're telling me no one of y'all know how to suck dick? Like,
Yo,
okay.
like,
Hold on.
like goddamn. Not what?
all y'all use teeth?
That sounds.
Just chill. So I just want to ask you.
Sounds miserable.
I'm trying to understand this shit. You feel me? Me and other viewers.
All right.
72 bitches.
Yes.
You gotta train them. Why you train them in this like? So
No, he's saying like if you go ahead.
Okay. So you know about the Islamic religion?
So inform us why it's 72. Go ahead.
So they believe when they die and they go to Allah, they get 72 virgins. They get 72 virgins. That's
Say it
their
again.
belief.
Hold on. When what happened now? Say it again.
When they die,
They
get 72 virgins in heaven. And they're
Where do virgins come from?
They're angels.
was already dead.
They're heaven. They're in heaven. That's their desire. And
So-
I don't know why specifically that number. It's a very weird.
So
odd
that's
Maybe
their
like they
religion.
died
So it's in their
in
religion
before
though. This is what
childbirth,
happens when
and
you
then they
die
just grew up
and
in
you
heaven.
have this
Pedophile.
religion.
yes.
That's what. Hold on. So basically,
He said pedophile.
No, what Fred said, he said people that died, but like during childbirth.
Oh,
and shit,
no.
they grew up in-
No, I'm saying they grew up like in heaven. You know what I'm saying? They just.
I don't know. I don't know if when you die you grow up. I think you stay the same age, right?
I don't know. I never
That's
died.
interesting. Fair
I
enough.
don't know.
So,
Fair enough. But what were you saying again though? I don't want to make you feel like we want to.
I don't even fucking know no more.
Because
He
you
was just,
keep
like, stuck
what are you
on the
what are you
72
what are you
virgins.
confused about? Because
Trey about to convert to Islam.
He gonna come back in this motherfucker with a turban and shit.
we gonna see him.
Nah,
we gonna see him 1 week and then we ain't gonna see him the next. They give him a strange
Hey,
package.
Hey, they gonna call that motherfucker Muhammad Drizzy. Goddamn.
Drizzy
Drizzy,
X.
Drizzy
Hey,
Muhammad.
Hey, look, but being honest though, like, in their religion, what I'm trying to understand is like, in their religion, if you're Islam, right,
Yes.
and
Muslim.
when you die, and you go up,
Yes.
and when you get there, you automatically have 72 virgins.
Yes.
So
that's what
like
they believe in.
the people that flew the planes into the World Trade Center, that was a part of the
They believe
the
that's
manipulation to try
yeah.
to get them to
So,
do
when
that.
they-
basically,
when
they,
they say-
thinking it's so much greater on the other.
Wow, you know
Yes.
what I just realized?
Yes.
There is no way that you can ever believe that we are the dominant species. No woman has ever been like, I want dick so bad that I'm about to fly a plane into some buildings. Whoa, do you not understand how tough that is? That's TUFF, bro.
I'm sorry.
God
Bro, that's deep,
damn,
bro.
bro.
I had
No,
to take the headphones off
no
for a
shorty has
second.
ever done that,
Whoa.
bro.
That's crazy.
Men will say, you mean to tell me I get 72 untouched pussies?
And they get what they doing.
All I gotta do is fly some motherfuckers into a building?
They ready to end it all, bro. They ready to end it all.
You also got to know how like
But what I'm,
strict their religion is in
But-
terms of like because if a girl like has sex and,
And
she's
they
not
that
married, like
strict.
they'll like kill her. Like
They're-
they can't go outside without accompanied by man. They're not allowed to drive. They have their there's so
In
much
some
more-
places. In some places.
There's so
places.
much
'Cause
more
Because you got Sunni and you got what's the other one?
Bro,
Shia.
why people? You know what? I know it's questions that I shouldn't even ask. Y'all got it, my brothers.
Well, no, you finna ask why would people convert to that?
And why even the people that's even like
Nah, you gotta think about what you.
I
saying.
don't no.
No.
Even
Go down that road.
even born into it too.
you allow to
I
ask
can't-
I mean,
questions.
if you
No.
born into it, you can't help it. But if you gotta
Nah,
think
fuck
about the
that
type
too.
of motherfuckers that would go and
But,
commit to that.
but even like so, I had to weigh that
But
shit.
you have
Like,
to understand that let's not misrepresent the religion, right? That's not the whole thing that they're going
Yes.
that they transition for.
Those
You know
are
what I'm
just
saying?
some of the
Convert for.
extremist that people
Yeah.
that internal.
but I'm also looking at like y'all telling me that the women can't even leave a human being. Fuck that. A human can't leave out the house
No,
with
Not just a human, a woman.
a woman. Yeah.
And in some
there.
places, they do stuff on the extreme end of genital. They even take it to
Yeah.
genital
what? They don't even like
Yeah.
what?
of genital mutilation,
Yeah.
where they remove the clitoris of some women.
This is the same place that like, if you steal something, they cut your hand off.
And this is all throughout their religion.
Not as you got different, the same way that you got different denominations of Christianity.
Yeah,
you
like-
have different kinds of Islam, and the main primary two I think are Shia and Sunni. And so, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll look it up right here to make sure that I'm right, but I think I'll just jump edit this because I do want to make sure I'm right about what I'm about to say.
It's different. Ain't no fucking way.
Yeah. But that's essentially how they talked them into when they were doing those
Man,
things.
even still, man, fuck that bullshit. I don't care what you born into. I don't care what you look at. Like, nah. Like,
Okay, so
everybody
the
have a
most
choice.
radical sect of Islam is Qutbism. I don't know. That's not what I'm looking for though. Because it's not one of the like most practiced versions.
But you got to think, just the same way that we're saying they're like that radical, you have radical Christians, you have radical people that are like Jewish and Mormon, like they're like, so like my grandma was like that. Like I'm talking about
So
like
what the radical Christians doing?
Standing outside the abortion clinic.
yeah, the ones that are throwing holy water on
They ain't-
people,
So they ain't
yelling
cutting
at
off
you
no
for being
clitoris.
They ain't
No,
actually,
they just don't want women to have sexual reproductive rights.
actually,
They ain't,
actually, I think there was some places that people did that in certain like, but that's more in like cults areas. But that's what I'm saying. Like we really can't speak because in the same sense, Americans have so many different cults that popped up because someone believed in something so wholeheartedly. It's the exact same thing.
Well, we talking about cults when you say that.
But that's still their religion though. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm trying to make the difference is. It's like so it's like you have people that believe in Islam and all that other stuff, but they don't believe in necessarily the other same thing. And then some people have small different things to where they call them terrorists if they go out and do that extreme stuff. But that just could be a small different sector that they don't associate with those guys because they're in like their own little cult type thing. Just like how Americans, you have your regular Christians that are like, oh, I'm Christian, I believe, I go to church, blah blah, and then you have the extreme ones that are like, oh, don't touch that person because they're this, and they're like super everyone's seeing like the super one, they're like you can't curse them. And then you have the even past that to where they're like, then you get into cult stuff. So it's like there's different levels, there's different tiers. It's the same thing. Certain people, religions are beliefs are a very powerful tool, because if you looked into any of the different things for cults and stuff and the amount of things people go to, there has been of where they'll like chemically burn them to where they might not cut it off, but they'll chemically burn them in certain cults in America because they don't believe that women should feel that stuff. It's also the same thing of why guys basically
Are they still representing Christianity once they get to the cult though?
they not necessarily.
I'm sorry, I was reading
Extremist.
It's extreme. Yeah,
what
not
group are y'all
necessarily.
talking about?
Oh,
All of
I was just letting him know, like the same way that they have theirs extremes.
Yeah.
It's like how Americans have extremes and then they turn into cults.
Right.
It's the
yeah.
exact same thing. Like, and other people are like, I don't want to be associated with that. But
What I'm
you know,
asking is this right here. So even if the Christians turn into the cults that turn into extremists, that's what we label them by, extremists, right? This is when they go too far down the rabbit hole.
Right.
They're too deep.
Right.
They're not labeled as Christians no more. That's what I'm
It's
asking.
not necessarily true.
Not
because it's a-
necessarily.
I'm
It's a-
asking.
it's-
I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying. It depends. It's too hard to put because there's too many different ones.
I don't even know if it necessarily depends. I think that it's just subjective because they would consider themselves to be Christian.
So,
Yeah.
so what y'all telling me within the Christianity religion, they done went so far that they done made their only thing, but it's subjugated from the Christianity religion
That's like
to
the
religion.
whole
So we got a
thing with
Christian religion,
Christianity.
and then we got breakers, like a fucking.
That's
Hold on. Let
It's
me
too-
hold on.
driving
Let me answer your question. So you have the Abrahamic faith.
Cool.
In the Abrahamic faith, under the Abrahamic faith, you have Catholicism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and I think maybe some outside variants of all of those. Then you go even further, you have Christianity. Christianity and Catholicism. Christianity split. Christianity and Catholicism are technically the same thing. From Catholicism, you have Protestantism, and that's what everything outside of Catholicism is. Every Christian ideology outside of Catholicism is Protestantism, right?
You got like paganism, Baptist,
Paganism.
Yeah, I'm just saying like there's lots of different
Paganism
tiers.
ain't a part of Christianity. Paganism is what Christians call anybody that's not a Christian a pagan.
That
Christian. You got No.
I said that to make sure Juan was on track. Good job, Juan.
He was.
But
You passed.
but then in Christianity you have over like 3,500 different denominations like Baptist, Methodist,
That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting.
Baptist,
But
all of them.
look,
that's so
I
wild.
understand now what you're saying to me
Yeah.
now.
And
I just
even
needed to like that.
and even
Needed to be okay.
Mormons are still Protestants.
Mm-hmm.
the church of whatever the fuck the
Nazarene.
and that all
Jehovah's
of that
Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witness, all of that stuff is
Yeah.
still Protestant.
Yeah.
So
But you
when
got to
they-
think about a Jehovah's Witness would be considered that they aren't terrorists unless you consider annoying the shit out of you fucking terrorism. But like, knocking on your door. Do you have a moment for us to tell you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
It's funny.
Like
'cause
I
it
don't
is.
like, and then hand us a Bible that like we ain't already got one. But
They give you their
but
Bible.
for example, they do stuff. They take it to the extreme because we were talking about mutilation, right? They
Yeah.
take it to the extreme where they don't do blood transfusions. And so, like, if you're in a serious accident, yeah, because they don't believe in the consumption of blood, right? So it's just like if there's someone that was in a car accident or whatever, had a serious injury where they require a blood transfusion, a lot of times they'll just die because they will not accept the blood transfusion. It was actually
I'm
a
converting right now.
a daughter actually allowed her mother to die because that she was the emergency contact. Her mother had been in an extreme situation or something like that happened. She needed a blood transfusion. So they called the daughter and the daughter was just like, no. And then the daughter tried to get mad and sue the hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually love seeing those on like those
that's
like
stupid.
hospital episodes where they have those
Yeah.
like moral dilemmas.
Mhm.
They gotta figure out a way around
No, for real, yeah. You never have you ever seen like
Shit.
House or like Grey's Anatomy? So they have
Used to love
episodes just like
House.
that.
Yeah.
Man, that shit's stupid as fuck.
That's
No,
their religion. They have a whole ethics board that they have to do for that
That's why
exact
y'all
reason,
call
so
them
they
people
can't get.
extremists. That's
What
exactly
did
what
we
they is.
get
That shit too wild.
Yeah,
I was
shit is
asking the
wild.
same thing when one was. I'm like, damn, where this shit derived from?
He said where the money resides.
What's the next
Oh.
one, Wall?
Yeah, let's get on down this list. I actually didn't do this week's notable person. That's unfortunate.
That's
I'll get back to it. Let's
Like-
talk about some of this other shit. What were you finna say?
Oh, no, it was gonna be a bad joke. Never mind.
This man, I'm glad I kept going. Babyface to announce his own solo headlining tour after Anita Baker controversy.
This week's
didn't we talk about that last week?
Babyface.
We talked about that last week.
No,
that was something different.
That was
He
him
got
getting kicked off the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not what this is. This is him saying, you know what? Since I was so successful on your tour, I'm just gonna do my own.
Which is what the people wanted.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
real.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Trippie Redd thinks hip hop is too divided. We let country and Spanish music take over. How do y'all feel about that?
That what Trippie said.
Take over what?
I feel like
I don't know. I guess we could read the article, huh?
I feel like Trippie Red's pretty. I feel like he's pretty irrelevant, so I feel like he's just trying to.
I hope
make
don't
more.
nobody ever say that about me.
I don't think he's nowhere near irrelevant. I ain't even gonna lie to you, cause we can go pull up Trippie Redd last video that he just did. He just dropped like 2 days ago or some shit like that.
Well,
3
all
days
right.
ago.
The Island Boys are
I know,
terrible thing, but they,
look, but look, this the thing though. Just because we're not listening to their music, and that means they're not getting all them streams like they always did.
but that doesn't make you
Oh,
relevant. That's what I'm
He's saying
That's what I'm
that hip hop needs new leaders.
But it's
who
not
are,
in our atmosphere though.
He's saying hip hop needs new leaders who are intentional about dictating where the music and culture are going, which I kind of agree, but maybe not. Maybe me and him disagree on necessarily, because he said it feels like the artists either don't think about it or don't want that responsibility. We need it though. Who's going to step up? That's what he said in a quote. I'm not gonna keep reading the whole thing, but he does go on to talk about Spanish music and all of this other stuff. The part about it that I do agree, I mean, the thing that I do agree with that falls under what he's saying is I feel like we are too invested in gang culture. I feel like we're way too invested in it.
He's part of that.
I understand that, and that's why I said we might disagree as far as like what we're actually talking about here. But I feel like hip hop is like, I feel like we as people are too because the thing is this: if you want to actually if you want to influence a culture in a positive direction, you look at what we first have to define what positive is. In my opinion, if we're talking about influencing an individual, let's use one person to do something positive, right? It would be let's say that it's a middle class or lower middle class person or poor person. It would be encouraging them to, or influencing them to get your bare essentials together. It would be to figure out how to make money legally and to sustain that shit. It would be to figure out how to actually come up with systems and businesses that will benefit your immediate community, right? It would be stuff along those lines. versus, and maybe maybe that's just not music's job, but I feel like it also shouldn't be music's job to tear down that. And so it's just like, I don't know. That's just my opinion about it. Once again, I got a lot of music that I realize that I'm just gonna have to trash because I'm like, I don't even like what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's not everybody's plight. I'm not saying it should be, but it's just like I'm no longer for, especially after watching that King Von documentary. It's almost like you can't get mad at white people for culture vulturing when we doing the same thing. Like that shit that happens in the hood, in the streets, on those corners and shit like that. They're talking about their reality, and you going around blasting the music, talking that shit, rapping that shit just so that you can feel turned up. Don't get me wrong, you paying them, right? But aside from that, to me, it's just like you are having fun off of the trauma of these other individuals. You know what I'm saying? It just feels kind of gross to me. But that's just me. That's just me.
Start having your point at the end. Your shit be too deep. We don't even have no rebuttal for your shit, one. Like
I apologize.
Nah, don't apologize for that. That shit be so fucking true. Like, damn, one shit. What do you want us to say after that?
I mean,
Like shit. Like, when there's straight facts.
he said, "You disagree with me?"
Slightly.
That's fine. I
I
like to disagree with you.
ain't gonna lie, I missed some of it. But as far as I feel like people culture vulturing, I think you're only a cultural vulture. I feel like if you're profiting off of someone else's culture.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could take, like I wouldn't, like, you know, they get mad at the white girls that go to Jamaica and get braids. Like I don't consider that a culture vulture. But even I would even consider some black artists or black journalists who never really lived that life but make a living off of just covering it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would more consider a culture vulture versus just somebody who just enjoys the music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or the culture.
Yeah, but I think that's a different word. I agree with you saying, because a culture vulture, just the bare definition, is a person who is very interested in the arts, especially to an obsessive degree.
yeah.
Well, they had to be that obsessive degree. Like,
And I
somebody
feel
can
like
some
that's what
shit.
I'm saying. I feel like there are a lot of people who don't belong to that community, although we all might share the same skin color.
Mhm.
There are people that don't belong to that community that are hyper obsessed with that culture, right? And it's just like you can't even sympathize with that culture. But I do understand what you're saying, and I agree. I just think that it's a different word for it.
But I don't know, man. I mean, like, people gonna like what they like.
Yeah,
People gonna want what they want.
yeah.
We can't never put no kind of weight on what, you know what
And
I
then
mean?
it is hard to draw a line because it's just like
If they attracted to that shit, they just attracted to that shit.
But I don't know. I guess that's an interesting thought.
I'd
Like,
rather
what
be
makes,
what Fred said.
I think it's an interesting thought. Like what makes something, for example, like if you poor and you like wear a whole lot of jewelry and shit, or like, are you being a culture vulture as far as pertains to like rich habits?
No, because rich people don't do that shit.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like people
Nah,
that
I
can,
feel you, but yeah.
so it's just like,
It's like if you're poor and
Nah,
you eat a lot of
think-
ramen, are you a culture vulture?
I would rather-
Because-
I'd
if you're
people-
rich, you eat a lot of ramen, are you a culture vulture? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you just like ramen.
I don't know. I feel like, but I mean, I guess once again, the word is strictly referring to like the art that is the art, and I guess the stuff that is a reflection of the particular culture. So it's just like, I don't know.
But shit, if they making money off of it and shit, like Fred stated, like, that seemed more like a culture vulture to me than somebody that just out there that's just even like infatuated with the motherfucking culture and just want to just, you know what I mean, learn about it.
That's why I agree. I
like-
don't want to make it sound like I disagree with anything Fred said.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
just being very
I'm just
particular
saying,
about the semantics.
on just on the culture vulture part, like even the meaning that they even stating, like nah, I mean, obsession, cool, all right. Even if you take it that far, like nah, you still can call it a whole different word. Like if somebody was to take the culture and try to do this and that and try to, you feel me, and then trying to make money off of it, then cool, culture fucking vulture. But like the meaning is shaking any fucking way, like culture vulture.
That nigga think everything shake. This man got
People-
Yeah, that definition was kind of like.
It's just like man. I'm like,
What?
Came up with
I'm
this.
like philosopher.
one that
Oh, you talking about
Fred.
that definition?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and
That's
then
why I
we got
told
that
you.
shit off.
That's why I
Google
said. That's why I
Internet.
said it is kind of
I was
weird
gonna say, y'all
because
entertaining what Trippie Red talking about. That's why I didn't even say no. I was like, I don't know.
well because but no because
That nigga relevant.
well but
He's
Trippie,
relevant, bro. I swear to God, like
He's
that.
not
that
relevant.
you talking about Trippie Red ain't
just
relevant?
because
Oh.
just because we're not listening to this person, he's not saying atmosphere or even like the state of Alabama probably not listening to him. We got 49 more states,
Well-
Have you ever listened to that nigga actually talk in his interview? That nigga don't know.
but
what
that
he
don't
say.
matter.
He's
But
fine,
he on Instagram right now. He gonna get more
just
than a
but
million.
again, that's what I'm saying. Just because you have money doesn't, or like your fame doesn't mean to make you also relevant. Just like what Fred would mention earlier, like why is Cardi B referencing all the same thing? Like, just because you're in the atmosphere doesn't make you relevant. Like if, for instance, if Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about space and physics and what he has, and then someone else in Cardi B was like, "Oh, I know how to." She's not relevant on the topic just because she's famous. Just because he does rap and things like that, he's not really also relevant on this in the same instance because he's just trying to get more views. I feel like he doesn't even know what he's basically saying. So in the same thing, everyone's talking about culture vultures. Nah,
Hold on, my man. I'm just like, because Fred's face is just very expressive. Like I can see him like it's almost like Tinder. It's just like, yeah. Nigga swipe left.
So let me ask you this
Like,
though.
wait, I wasn't done for explaining though.
Yeah, go ahead,
ahead.
my bad.
Because in the same aspect, everyone's saying culture vulture. He's doing. I feel like it's more for attention to try and bring more views and stuff to him because no one's actually doing that because it's. Everyone sampled off of other things. Everyone's taking inspiration from country music. Rap takes inspiration from jazz. Other things take inspiration from classical. Everyone takes how many rap beats have Jamaican flows or other things like that. Like everyone's taking other things from other cultures. So it's irrelevant in the sense to be like, we're Mexican, things or Mexican rap.
So you're
is too
saying
much
that
and stuff
he's
like that.
irrelevant in the conversation of heading and leading hip hop culture.
Exactly.
Or if you have anything to
And
say
do
about
with
it.
this.
So let me ask you
And
this
I
though.
feel like
At
no,
twen-
I get he has a following, but
at
I'm saying
2020
I
As
don't
it
think
pertains
he's
to that-
relevant to lead this. Like for instance,
To
if
rap?
I'm leading,
No, he's saying he doesn't believe that Trippie Red is
Knows
relevant in the conversation of being a leader in the rap community.
exactly.
Not that
But
he's not relevant.
in the
as-
same area. That's what I'm saying. For instance, like if I wanted to right now start an Asian appreciation group and lead
Why
it.
you look at me when you say
I
that
know,
like I'm
but-
Asian?
that's what I'm saying. If I wanted to start and lead an Asian appreciation group, if I want to start and lead an Asian appreciation group, and I was super invested in it, would I still be the right face or relevant for it? No. Even if I had an amazing following, no. That's what I'm saying. Like just because I'm not saying he's relevant in that sense, I'm just saying
He looked at me like I was China Mac and I was supposed to goddamn co-sign.
Listen here, y'all, man.
Look. So like, you're saying what did Trippie say? Trippie said we don't have no leaders into hip hop to be what was that word?
I mean, long story short,
he wasn't
the
calling himself a leader either, was it?
No.
No, I don't
What
think so. But he was saying that because he did ask who's going to step up. He was
So
saying-
like, how many?
Give
so
me the quote again.
this year, what hip hop
Trippie
album made
Red
number
thing.
one this year? Top 200 Billboard. Name one.
what album?
That's a hip hop album.
You asking me to look stuff up? I'm not good.
Now
at
you don't gotta do
What's
that. I already know
can
the
we
answer.
focus- What's
What is
the
it?
quote?
It wasn't just the one that, unless Gunna just hit number one for all this other shit, it's not one that this year. Now I'm getting to the point that is Trippie Red lying or is he speaking truth about it?
I mean, I really wasn't.
I don't think that there's any
I don't-
truth
I
in
don't
what
know-
he's saying. That's why I'm saying it's irrelevant.
This the only year that we don't got a number one album from hip
Hold
hop.
on, hold on, because I think we're talking about two different things. What I was talking about was just about the when he said we let Trippie Red thinks hip hop is too divided. We let country and Spanish music take over. Then down here he says hip hop needs new leaders who are intentional about dictating where the music and culture are going. It feels like artists either don't think about it or don't want that responsibility. We need it though. Who's going to step up? I took that and I was talking about the part of it that I do agree with is artists being intentional about the direction hip hop. That's why I said I feel like we were too invested in gang culture. He's not talking about nothing that I'm talking about. He's talking about how we're letting other people come in
And they are.
and dictate and move around.
Can I use what you just said right there?
Go ahead.
That's why he's irrelevant in the same thing, the conversation. Hip hop is, like you said, gang culture. All he raps about is gang culture. Drugs, killing, all that other stuff, money, fucking bitches. That's all he raps about, that's not a problem. But if that's what you think hip hop has to be, and other people like J. Cole and other people that actually rap and are lyrical, and they explain that, and they even say that in their views and different things, they're like, that's not what we all are. Like we more intelligent than that. We can have more craft than that. We can be more sophisticated than that. Versus it just being, it's people just thinking hip hop and it's just gang culture. That's why I'm saying it's relevant, because it's like he's saying that, but that's like that's all he raps about is that stuff. So he's basically saying like, oh, there's not enough, there's too much other influence because there's not enough gang culture rap and stuff like that.
To be fair, he didn't say that. Juan said that.
He didn't, but that's you can imply that you know how he raps.
And then but look though,
that's his view.
and if you say Trippie Redd, this only thing that he raps about, they let me know that like Trippie Redd is a dying breed. He's the only one that's around here that's in that time period that was talking about sad music. He rap about sad music. Then he might go to some gang related shit, but he's a sad fucking artist. He's a depressing artist. He's in that time period. So but overall, his sadness is gonna trump any gang related, any fucking bitches, any fucking smoking shit. It gonna trump it. We talking about Trippie damn Redd. The other sad artists are fucking dead.
True.
We only got Trippie. But even what he's saying, even with the leading concept of it, hip hop, as of right now, I don't think 2023 summertime. We haven't even had a hip hop fucking album hit #1, and we in the summertime, my nigga. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he fucking lying, because out of hip hop, what other music is hitting #1? What other music?
It's not the ones he mentioned.
I swear to God, it's the ones he's fucking mentioning. He wouldn't be here saying that we sitting here letting
what's
country.
What's the number one?
And this the first time that even hip hop hasn't hit probably a fucking #1 in this summertime. It's been like 20, 30 years.
If you want to go off of just straight numbers, country has way more of an audience than anything for hip hop and stuff. It's the same thing. It's the same thing for the police things where they talk about black people being this much incarcerated and this much people arrest, but it's also skewed because there's so few of us.
Watch out there now.
But it's true though. It's true.
But that never mattered up until
I'm not
this year.
saying it's not wrong, but I'm saying it is a skewed amount.
But it never happened. It never mattered up until this year.
To be fair, pop music and other forms of music have started to become more popular. And hip hop doesn't have the same kind of influence. The hip hop that everybody thinks about when you start talking about hip hop doesn't have the same level of influence as it once did. And I think that's just I personally think that's just a side effect of the music industry becoming more easily accessible.
But wouldn't you say that's what Trippie's saying?
But no, because I feel like he's not saying that we're letting Spanish music and all of this other stuff take over. He's saying that we're letting all of this other stuff affect the direction of hip hop.
And that's why. And all right, so
you feel like he's lying?
We're allowing it to affect hip hop. So no, I don't feel like this. I don't necessarily think that he's lying, but I also don't think that it's that deep. Yeah, I think that
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. I feel like people are going to be influenced by. I mean, Spanish music was influenced by hip hop. Everything's going to be influenced by everything.
Literally,
eventually.
What I was saying.
Oh, I forgot who said it, but it was one of those famous artists from a long time ago that everybody we learned about in school. He said, "If you want to be a great artist, steals or something like that."
Yeah.
And so it's just like you got to be. I feel like he's coming from a conservative point of view in a progressive society. And I feel like that's just something that happens. You're going to have the evolution. You're going to have whatever the fuck. Because
it changes and adapts. And that's what I was trying to say. It's like, so if you listen to any of the old interviews with Ice Cube and stuff, they basically are like, hip hop's getting soft. Rap's getting soft from when I was doing it, when he was doing NWA, like fuck the police. Then you have people that are like, oh, it's soft because it's like, Biggie and Tupac, and people were like actually beefing. They've been saying this forever, but rap and everything changes. It evolves. And the same people saying that it was weak and stuff then, also like the music that came out afterwards, like Lil Wayne's and Kendrick's and all that other stuff. So but they also took other things and adapted it. They took things, like you said, Spanish, like everything's another reconstruction of another thing. They're sampling songs, they're sampling other things. So you either stay where you're at and you get lost in the back crowd, or you advance and evolve and you go on and see the other people. So you could be like, oh, I'm gonna still do, think of football. Like we getting better technology. That's why we're not wearing fucking leather helmets out there. Like we had to get different paths. We had to get different stuff. It's the same thing in the music industry. So you could say that like, oh, we don't like it, it's evolving. I feel like it was irrelevant. It wasn't that deep because we, as in the music industry, and y'all know better than me. Y'all are artists. But I feel like in the music industry, you either adapt or you get left the fuck behind.
Yeah.
But you also could be stuck in your values and your pride and be like, I'm not changing because this is my sound. I work too hard for my sound. I'm going to stay like this. And you're still going to have a following. You're still going to have those people that like you for your sad music or emo and stuff music. But if you're doing, Taylor Swift's a good example. People got really mad at Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift used to be all country. Then she stopped not selling as much country thing. And then she switched over to country and then she did pop. And now all of her new stuff is pop, and she lost a lot of fans. But she also stayed relevant, and she did it because she learned she had to change.
Yeah, she got number one.
And beyond that, there's this other part of it.
You have to keep adapting.
There's this other part of it that a lot of people don't think about, and that's that a lot of these people who are the most relevant also don't that your relevance doesn't necessarily mean that you're qualified. So like,
and that's what I was saying.
So like even like, for example, Ice Cube and them commenting on, because I know what you're talking about, commenting on how rap is getting soft and stuff like that. Like, there have always been conscious rappers. There's always been, and rap was not always hard. You get what I'm saying? It was just, there were different elements of the whole hip hop spectrum that became popular over time. You know what I'm saying? Well, at one point in time, it was like the house music type thing. Then it turned into the gangster rap era, right? You feel what I'm saying? Well, that was like that element of hip hop dominated, right? Then you got into,
now we got the mumble rap.
Now you got the mumble rap, which a lot of people don't like, but you've always had mumble rappers. Like, they just weren't relevant because nobody liked the shit. It's like somebody cut hold to it, and don't get me wrong, it influenced other people to do it, but it's always been around. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's, once again, I don't know if he's necessarily even, I understand his concern, and that's why I said at the beginning, me and him might disagree with what he's actually meaning. I agree with the statements. I don't agree with what he's actually meaning, because it's just like, I don't think it's that deep, and I feel like it's always going to happen, and I don't feel like there are too many people who are relevant and qualified to talk about this shit, you being one of them. So it's just like, regardless of the conversation about whether or not he's relevant, I don't think that matters. The point is that I don't even know if he's qualified, and I don't feel like he himself feels like he's qualified to do it, because he said who's going to step up, right?
I feel like that's where mine was, the difference was that where I was saying was like, I don't feel like he's qualified, but I was saying it as irrelevant, and you guys were taking relevant as in like, oh, he has followers and things like that. But I meant relevant as in like qualified. Like he's known. He has more followers than all of us. He can post something, people are gonna see to it. But at the same thing, there's like a different level of being like knowledgeable on a subject. And I feel like he's not.
And I feel like we already do have those people.
Yeah.
We have those people that do that. I feel like J. Cole does a good job at that. I feel like people just don't look at it because people are so consumed with their own things that they like. You do have a lot of people that don't. But I mean, we've beaten this dead horse. That horse is dead.
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead. Pontificate, my nigga.
Say two things.
Pontificate, my nigga.
I think the biggest danger is, like, in my opinion, would be letting the same thing that has happened to rock and blues and jazz and all other black art forms happen to hip hop,
which is letting it get taken over by other people,
whitewashed.
And well, you know, the South Koreans have taken that shit from us, bro. Like, them motherfuckers, like, you talking about some hip hop, boy, some gangster rap music, them motherfuckers going crazy.
Like, I don't know, but yeah, but you know, to Dre's point, I was looking at the 2023 album so far, and there is not one hip hop,
and that's bad
album on there.
Like,
whereas compared to 2022,
talk to him, philosophy.
You had Gunna come out, Lil Durk, Machine Gun Kelly, which is
To be fair,
Yeah,
Lil
but
Durk
you could
again,
also-
Tyler the Creator, Pusha T, Future,
To be
Kendrick
fair, this hasn't.
Lamar.
To be
Russell
fair, this
Drake.
also hasn't been. To be fair, this also hasn't been the most musical, like hip hop music. Like it hasn't been the most productive year for hip hop. Like that, a lot of stuff hasn't come out, and the stuff that has come out, a lot of it's been trash.
But that's what I'm saying.
In my
yeah,
opinion.
it doesn't.
In my
That's what I'm
opinion.
saying. You have to look at the numbers as well too, because it just might be that maybe there are a lot of people haven't put out albums. and stuff
We
like that.
halfway through the year, y'all.
But again, that doesn't mean if
We talking about a hip hop.
Andre 3000 literally just had like a thing saying he was thought about working on another album.
He
When was
confirmed. I think it was confirmed.
Yeah, when was the last time he made an album? Rappers take hiatuses. They stop for a long time. It could just simply be like a lot of them, like Drake did kind of like they
but
could
that
just
don't
be like
mean-
waiting.
But that don't mean nothing for like what's going on for this year.
But I'm saying
with hip hop,
but
like
correlation doesn't mean causation.
even for Trippie Redd to even get up there to even make a statement like that. I look at people even asking like, why are they even making this fucking statement?
Because it affects
And do they have any grounds to be making this statement?
he's making this statement because it affects him.
No, like overall, at the end
I mean,
of the day,
he's observing something that's actually going on.
it's going the fuck on.
But
Ain't
I don't
been
think
like-
it's that
It
deep.
ain't been like it this year. Like I don't know this, bruh.
But you
and we
gotta
ain't gonna
think
go that
about it.
deep.
But you gotta think about
From
it.
the '90s
Think-
up until now, we haven't what?
That's not true though, because the thing is, we include R&B in the hip hop, but there have been years where R&B outdid hip hop. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, especially the
But
year that
that's-
Daniel Caesar came out, her came out, that whole thing, like
So right there,
R&B was going crazy.
you know when you had said, well, people will adapt and they will change. I can be damned if that boy Frank Ocean would ever change. I don't think he gonna do too much adapting from his music on what he got on his
That
drum.
nigga went to
Yeah, it
medical
might
school.
improve, but I don't think with the adaptation wise, like people not gonna just like they ain't gonna like not all the time. You gotta adapt and just do what everybody else doing if your shit is just super authentic. Also,
No, I agree, but I'm thinking in the terms of like say features, like when someone has a sound, like when DaBaby did that one with Dua Lipa,
okay,
and it's a very very different sound, and then you have the same thing where like it's a very controversial one, but for what's his name, Lil Nas X.
Mhm.
Because he's a gay rapper, and people were like, "Oh, you can't be doing raps with like gay dudes, and he has a different sound, he has a different thing." But then other people went and did it with him, and it was like because he was popular. And I feel like it could be simple things of adapting as that. Because Little Boosie went on record to saying like he was not a fan of him. He wouldn't do any songs with like him because he was like homosexual, and he was thinking like you shouldn't have homos. And some people are like really like that, and that's kind of what I mean in the sense of like he's letting certain pride and certain aspects keep him from adapting. So someone that, as an example, had a really good record. I think he did one with Jack Harlow, that was really, really popular and had a lot of views and stuff like that. Well, he would have just lost out on a bunch of money because he didn't want to adapt in that sense. So it's not like you have to change your whole complete sound. But I also see what Fred is saying, what you guys are saying is like not having it whitewashed. I'm just saying certain small things change. Like I can tell you there's certain songs I've listened to. Drake has one where he's doing where he has reggae influences, where he has Spanish influences. And I'm saying it's okay to still have and keep it authentic, but then have other interpretations. It's kind of like how, and this is a little bit sellouty though. I will go on like how Americans will put like Japanese and Chinese things in their movies because they want Chinese viewerships. So if you've ever noticed that, and I know this because I'm an actor and I pay attention to that stuff, but in the same areas because you sell domestically and then you sell overseas. So a lot of the Transformers, when there was like the third or fourth one where they had that big ass scene and they were in Hong Kong for some reason, it was to sell that to like Chinese viewers and things like that. So it's like selling out. But it's in the same aspect of them basically being like, hey, I'm trying to appeal to, I can still show my American people like I like to blow shit up, but I'm also trying to appeal to other people at the same time. And you could say it's, like I said, sellouty or getting views and other things like that. But at the end of the day, it's a business. They're trying to make money.
And on top of that, you also have to factor in this, and then we're gonna get off of this. You have to factor in that one, there's always going to be a back and forth with like a rise and fall of power. There's nothing wrong with that. And then on top of that, you have to realize that a lot of people that make music came in together making music and probably are going to have the same level, the same pattern to the hiatuses. So it's just like you're gonna have people that is just like, yeah, we got this successful, we did this, that, and the third, and now we probably finna take a break. You feel what I'm saying? And now we probably finna figure something else out, regroup, do another marketing plan. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what our next move is, and that's probably what we're seeing here. Because last year and the year before that shit was fire. Like you had Drake's album, Drake's had 2 albums.
Yeah, he did
Kanye West.
with Travis Scott.
He went number 1 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. Kanye West did his Thug. You feel what I'm saying? Young Thug had something to drop. Somebody did.
Yeah, Thug ain't gonna do.
Yeah, you feel it. So like these last couple of years have just been fire. But I mean,
it's been quite a few albums that dropped this year though.
Yeah, they just dropped this year, and none of them went fucking number 1. It's a fucking problem.
Are they trash?
I don't fucking know, but no, it should like something's fucking wrong.
Fred looking like, I don't.
It's a lot of names on this list. Like, yeah, I wouldn't buy that. Which to be honest, I was not aware of any of these.
See, but that's what I'm saying.
Because didn't Drake recently drop something he didn't even advertise for?
Idea.
No, he didn't.
It went for this year.
Oh, okay.
But there's some names on here like YoungBoy, Zaytoven, Babytron.
But that's what
and what you gonna expect with niggas? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, people think that shit's fire. Like, I'm not the biggest YoungBoy fan as far as like his music is concerned. I ain't got no opinion about the actual nigga. Like, I don't listen to YoungBoy like that. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, but see, so
and
like,
it didn't go number 1 though.
I just think what he's saying, like he said, there's rises and powers, and they might not be number 1 this year. But that don't mean that's a problem.
Well, Wayne is on this list.
I don't think Trippie read line in none of that post what he said. Simplicity of it. Like it can't be no way.
I don't think that we're saying that he's lying either though.
But like ain't.
It's just about how deep it is. Like I feel like it's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it was a 10-year drought of hip hop not releasing complete trash,
but we can't go back to 1 year since the fucking 90s up until 2023.
But that's fine though. That's what I'm saying. That's fine.
And then you got to think about
that's a hell of a run.
You got to think about the fact that once again the music industry is just far more accessible. There are far less gatekeepers. You have all of these different kinds of people that have now had time to mature and have music. And make music and use it as a reflection of their strokes, and other people are fucking with it. And honestly, hip hop, in my opinion, was bound to take a dive because that shit ain't just gonna be popular forever. Motherfuckers ain't finna just for the rest of forever. Motherfuckers cannot just be talking about everything that's happening in the hood, everything that's happening in the ghetto. That's why I said I don't necessarily listen to YoungBoy because I can't sympathize with it. It ain't me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like everybody just ain't gonna like. Going back to what he was saying, Black people are huge consumers in the United States, but at the end of the day, our numbers are only 13% of the United States. After that, the next biggest group is the Latino and Hispanic community, the Mexicans and stuff like that. And then you get into white people. So it's just like those people that he's talking about have a larger percentage of people in the United States than we do. So it's just like if every Black person in America, and only every Black person in America, only listen to Black artists, and if every Mexican in America or Hispanic in America listened to only Latin American or Latin music, they would still outdo us. Yeah. Because it's just simply more of them. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, along with that, you have, like I said, the access to all of this other stuff. But I just don't think it's that deep. I feel like rap is going to I feel like it might be a good thing because it's going to force hip hop to evolve. It's going to have to if you want to be relevant and stuff like that. Yeah, so
I just think it's just one small down year. They'll be back the next one. Other, like you said, hiatus. Also, you got to think like you have certain people. I just lost my train of thought. It was actually a really important thought too.
Shit ain't started happening until YSL got locked up.
But
they're trying to take us out, y'all. It's the government.
The RICO cases.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Damn, I actually had a really good ending point on that, but I can't remember.
YSL did his job. Go ahead, man. It's fucking us up in the streets, man. Free Young Thug.
Yeah.
We moving on with that.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna hit this and then we're gonna give our facts, man. Big Pokey passed away on stage, man, at 45.
I seen the video.
Yeah, that was tragic.
Yeah, I seen that shit. It was tragic. I was hoping that it wasn't gonna be that straight gun barrel forward.
He passed away on stage.
Yeah, on
you
stage.
Ain't seen that video?
I'm not gonna.
I've
put
been-
that
we
on
can't
auto
even
respect
strip
for the family.
I've been really into the.
That shit look
Yeah.
to the submarine,
Sub-
huh? They had
Yeah.
you had you in the choco.
They had me.
The
me
thing
locked up.
is,
was
I
tapping
saw
this
the
shit.
video before and I laughed, and now I feel so horrible. You
You
feel what I'm saying?
laughed at it, Warren?
Well,
he
no,
didn't
because
know.
I
He
didn't
said
know
he
he
didn't
was
know.
dead. I didn't know he died. I just seen a video.
That he just felt.
Yeah, that he fell out, and the way that
he fell so fucking hard.
and the
too.
way that it happened is like,
So wait, did he have like a heart attack or something?
I guess so. And
Or
the
was
way
it
that
like he fall and then hit his head or something.
and the way that it happened, yeah, he
I didn't see it. I don't know.
I think that he had a heart attack. I'm not completely sure. But that goes into another point about black men, everybody, but specifically
I
black
don't know
men.
if he had
Take
a
care of your
heart attack.
fucking health. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need y'all in this motherfucking community, and y'all want to sit up here and drink and smoke and do all of this other stuff till y'all fucking dead. And it's all fun and games until you actually in a predicament and you actually somewhere hurting. You actually somewhere laid up. You actually on dialysis. Your ass actually is about to die. And now your family looking at you like, damn, you're not gonna be around that much longer. Stop that shit, bro.
Yeah, 'cause
Straight the fuck up.
45 is young as hell.
45 is young as fuck, bro.
That escalated quick.
Yeah, no, because that's some real fucking shit, bro. Like, that shit pissed me off when I see folks that's just not, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you got to be, what is it called when you just anal about health and stuff like that? Can't think of the word. You ain't saying that you got to be that, but it's just like, take better,
You
like,
mean like a germaphobe or something?
no, it's a word for it. I'll come up with it in a minute. But it just pissed me off when I see motherfuckers that just think that, oh, every weekend, yeah, I'm finna get drunk as fuck. I'm fucked up. All of this other stuff. Player. It's
Cut it out.
yeah. I'm gonna get out there before I lose us some followers because I was about to cuss them motherfuckers out.
We about to give out facts already.
Well, let me
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Let me make sure.
Can we talk about the how Jordan Poole got traded for 40-year-old Paul?
Oh, there's a
That
lot of
did
stuff.
happen. That did happen.
NBA draft going on right now, man.
Damn,
Just
man,
flipped
it
over.
is, and we didn't even get a chance to get to the Mariah Mills thing and shit like that.
That's
We've
why I
been
went
going on
this-
too long.
that's why
Cause
I
y'all
went
want
on
to
this
argue about shit, man. Damn.
You can always cut that out, and then we could.
Hell no.
But nah, we'll come back around to it. I mean, it's still gonna be relevant next week.
And Ja Morant got suspended for 25 fucking games.
He did get suspended for 25 games.
You know, I saw a thing that
Over the
said-
gun?
I
Pew
saw,
pew.
I saw a thing that said it didn't even affect
One.
him because he averages missing 25 games a season.
One. Pew
So-
pew.
So they were like, so John Morant basically didn't get no time off. He were-
That shit crazy.
Pew pew.
It was the cumulative events because he went
People-
and told.
People actually said that was a pretty light sentence.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been more than
They were
like a-
actually saying Adam Silver was a little soft on him because they
What?
thought it was
Hey,
gonna be
look,
like
man.
they were saying half the season or like a lot of stuff because he averages 20 missing 25 a
Grandads
game.
and grandmas get old, they get soft. Good shit, Adam. West Side, my brother.
Well, there's a lot of the Boston Celtics just got Kristaps Porzingis,
Mhm.
traded Marcus Smart, CP3 going to the Warriors, Jordan Peele
Mhm.
going to the Wizards, and
Why do y'all think that shit fucking happened? Like, what would make them do that dumbass shit?
What
That's
do
some dumbass shit.
what?
We talking about the fucking Splash Brothers. They turned into a pool fucking party. Now you take the pool away.
Well, Jordan Poole
Well,
had
you gotta
started sucking.
you gotta think. Draymond Green just punched him the year prior, and there was like a little bit of like malice in the locker room, even though
Mhm.
they didn't say there was. You could tell from
Mhm.
the interview. So, and then they gave Jordan Poole
So
that.
basically, they looked at that shit and said, "We gotta get rid of Pool." That's
Which they
Mhm.
said they had to get rid of one of them, and you know
Mhm.
Draymond Green just exited out of his contract, not contract, but he opted out of his player option. So then they were like, he basically was like, "Nigga, it's either him or me." And Draymond's already got 3 rings with him, and he's been there since the start. So you know you kind of got to respect that. So I understand why they did it. So it was. I already knew one of them was getting traded this season right after he punched him. Right after he punched him, I'm like, they can't keep that locker room together. They can't keep that locker room together.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
yeah.
That's some dumbass decision.
How you gonna pass a nigga the ball all season and be upset like that? Like that nigga punched me in my face. I'm like, I give you the ball. Like you might try to keep a person on a note, but it's like you fuming as a man in your pride. You like, I want to get this nigga another. Like
They dumb as fuck, bro.
so
Well,
they had to get rid of for to make the locker room better.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it is what it is.
Plus they
get
got
bad blood in the locker
CP3
room.
man. If he healthy, which he's not gonna be, they could be pretty good.
That shit crazy what you just said. I ain't gonna lie to
Why
you.
you laughing, Fred?
Because that's mad disrespectful.
It is mad.
I like
disrespectful.
CP3. He just always hurt.
Can't speak on that.
He
nigga like
he
that.
can do you in hurt or not hurt.
He could. He would destroy my.
Oh, I'm
but at
sorry.
the
This just
same
going.
time-
I am gonna have to cut some of this off because we are going to talk about this. I'm sorry.
What's that?
the missing girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but from up here in Huntsville, the girl that went missing.
I wanted to say something earlier about this shit. They finally found the ass.
They found the
Twerking in Texas.
So we don't know that. Shut up. That's not what was going on.
Damn.
For y'all that don't know,
hope
for all
she
of
see
y'all
this video.
outside, for all of those outside of the Huntsville area, there was a girl that she goes to Alabama A&M, that went missing, and the young man who I'm assuming that she was dating or talking to or whatever.
They would have knew she was missing if she was in a sub. Sorry, that's too quick.
Hey, bro, don't cut one off no more, man. That's
They,
too early, too quick, man. What
they,
you doing?
No one can make jokes. I can't make jokes. Everyone else can make jokes. I can't make jokes.
You did it again.
Long story short, they accused the guy, the guy that she was seeing. They accused him of kidnapping her, or at least that was the running theory. But it turns out that a couple of days later they found out she had went to Texas and she was in a car accident and she was in the hospital. Okay, and so here's my thing.
Damn.
She didn't tell anyone.
That's
where
why I
she
said that. No.
She didn't tell anyone where she was going.
I don't know. But obviously there was a huge mix up. Huge mix up. Now, I've heard stuff about the young man. He's actually 30 something. That's another thing that people are trying to factor in, trying to say that why is a 30-year-old with an 18-year-old and this, that, and the third. But that's beyond that's my point is this. I understand why so many of y'all's relationships fail. Because the shit's fucking sad and the shit's fucking sick. The idea that so I saw a post going around that said all of y'all owe blank an apology.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
And there was so many people saying I don't owe him shit because he's still weird. This, that, and the third. That ain't got nothing to do with what nobody talking about.
Yeah.
You can't-
I can imagine that all of y'all's relationships must be trash, or if they not, I don't know how the fuck y'all doing it. You feel what I'm saying? There have been so many times where me and my wife have had to sit down, and the reason why we make it so well is because if there's something that I or her do wrong, we acknowledge the thing that we did wrong. We don't bring up all of this other tangential shit regardless of if it's true. If it's something else, then come out and say that. You don't know what I'm saying? We can talk about that later, but we're not about to sit up here and act like there was an injustice done socially to this man, and then act like he's not deserving of an apology for something that was done wrong to him.
Yeah,
that shit's fucking wild, and y'all sick as fuck, and y'all trash as fuck. Y'all some trash motherfuckers,
They
bro.
gotta be doing trenchy bitches, bro.
Nah, man, like you
from the
a
trenches,
real
man.
trash motherfucker if you like. And the thing is, y'all calling him weird. Y'all just as fucking weird, bro. You fucking weird if you think that you don't owe somebody an apology when something's wrong been done to them. You weird, bro.
That's someone's life they're messing with, because
Exactly.
like that's gonna affect, because they're gonna be like, oh, isn't that the dude who was like accused of like kidnapping that girl?
Yeah,
and
bro.
Jobs,
And
jobs, and people see that other future relationships if they don't have any stuff like that, because that's messed up. It's the same thing when guys get accused of like cheating, and then they or not cheating, but when guys get accused of like sexually harassing women, and then it comes out that the woman was lying, and then they're like, oh, the guy was getting so much like disrespect and flack saying he was doing this, but his name's already tarnished at that point, because then it's like people that didn't see the rest of the story, they still gonna think he's that or accuse him of that. So I feel like it's the same thing.
Literally.
Did the cops like arrest him or question him or anything like that, or?
I think it was just a whole bunch of Facebook shit going on.
Yeah, but and,
I feel like it could have been definitely avoided, because someone should have communicated. He should have known she was in Texas. Maybe she didn't tell him. But it really sucks. Back to Juan's point about not communicating with your partner, because you gotta have that communication.
Like either way.
but then I don't know if a girl acting like that and a nigga don't know where she at and shit. I don't even think Shawty fuck with him like that anyway. So
that's not his fault.
So
if he
yeah,
don't know
so
where
how
she
could
at.
he even know where she even at?
We have no idea. It could have just been a surprise. It could have been a
But
spur
even-
of the moment, like I'm headed down here to see one of my family friends, because I don't know why. We obviously don't know why
yeah,
she went.
and I don't even think it's fair to bring all of that shit in, because one, we don't know. The point is that, like, when we judge people, we have to not add in shit that they aren't, that they just can't help.
Facts over feelings.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's be 100 about it. Like, I don't know. That shit just did rub me the wrong way because I was looking at all these people talking about some I don't know him shit, this, that, and the third. And maybe you don't, but you can't to not acknowledge that a person was wronged and is not you act like he is not deserving of what it doesn't matter what weird thing he did. It doesn't matter if somebody, and this is just me being honest, and this is the way that we have to fucking be. Otherwise, we have a failed fucking society as it pertains to the actual court system. If you are tried for a crime that you did not commit and it's proven that you didn't do it, they can't charge you for it again. Because
double jeopardy.
It's double jeopardy. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like you can't sit up here and then do the social equivalent of that, where it's just like, oh, I'm still going to judge you for it, even after it's been proven that you didn't do the thing.
But then that's the same people that had something to say for it in the beginning, then can't own up to what the fuck they said, and then feel some fucking type of way about it. Yeah, stupid ass fucking humans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like just admit to you being wrong and just like, man. I will. Only thing I can say about that is that the only people who don't owe him anything are the ones who didn't say he was that way. But if you were going out of your way to be like, oh, he definitely did it. You were helping spread rumors on this man.
Right.
So, and then if it come back and don't get me false, wrong, you should apologize.
Him being weird is completely,
or at least take it off.
Is completely exclusive from, and didn't think he's fucking African. So don't get me wrong. So let me be very clear. I understand how you maybe draw the connection that he was the last person that knew what she was, the last person that that was seen with her. I understand that. I understand how you draw the connection. What I'm talking about is people's reluctance for other reasons to feel like he isn't deserving of an apology. That shit's fucking mind blowing. You ain't never gonna have no successful relationship if that's the way you think about shit.
I think it has to do with what you said because he was 30 and she was like 18.
That's a different thing.
At the end, like you said, at the end of the day, it's still legal. No matter how much you want to be like makes you feel weird or whatever, it's legal, and he didn't do anything illegal. So, leave that nigga alone. Apologize, man. They took it from social media. They had posters all over Huntsville. They had posters in Bridge Street, and they had posters all throughout Madison on my side and the east side of Madison. Like that shit. And when you start putting in leg work, on top of the fucking social media work, and you feel like nobody should say I'm sorry for even bring you into it, because y'all got this man picture on the poster with it. Yeah, that's wrong. That's way too different. Different. Someone definitely need to apologize when it's that.
Yeah, and there have been people that obviously the post went. It had a couple of hundred or maybe 1,000 or so shares and stuff like that. So obviously people agree. It's just like those small few people that really and probably shouldn't even fucking matter. But it just pissed me off when I saw it, and that just made me realize, wait a minute, this is also why people want to know all the times what's killing marriages and what's killing relationships. That fucking mentality right fucking there. You can't go into a relationship, any type of close interaction with somebody, and not be able to judge each other justly and think that y'all gonna get along, think that y'all gonna be together, think that y'all gonna spend a lifetime to fucking together. No, y'all can't even do that to somebody y'all ain't even close to.
They too self-centered.
They're too self-centered. That's fine. But I don't want to beat that horse too much further, man. It's a long story short, fuck y'all.
Well, only the people that didn't apologize. We don't say that. We don't say that to everybody.
Yeah.
We want to have some viewers.
Tenfold. I'm gonna say this. Y'all ain't got to comment on it if y'all want to. Y'all can. Candace Owens said that Juneteenth was stupid. I hope her reasoning is because she said that there were other more significant events in the liberation of black people that we could be celebrating, but this one she feels like is not as relevant and fictitious and yada. So
basically, I feel like she's saying it don't hold no weight.
She's saying it don't hold no weight, and she's also saying
that sound like a backward, not like a backhanded compliment, like a backhanded insult.
So
like she insulted us.
What I see a lot of times is like black conservatives try to claim to help black people by shitting on them, and then what they do is, and you can tell it all the time, that when you know it's not genuine because they have white significant others. Not that having a white significant other or a black significant other is not to say that there's something wrong with it intrinsically. It's when you tie it to those type of people that you start to think that, wait a minute, maybe you got some fishy shit going on in your head about the people that look like you. Anyway, what I'm saying is this: if she feels that way, I hope she also doesn't celebrate Christmas.
I hope she doesn't get Christmas.
She celebrate Christmas, cuz.
She probably does with I'm not gonna.
She probably celebrate Hanukkah or some shit, but
I don't know. Whatever she celebrate, I hope it don't celebrate her back.
Big facts.
we can close this joint out though. I hated. I'm sorry I had to steamroll at the end. I guess this is gonna be the podcast or Wolf Band rants. The rant. Because all I did was rant this whole podcast.
Now you have some deep shit to say.
But we're gonna get on the fuck out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. How y'all feel, man? Y'all good?
we giving out the facts or no?
Yeah, we about to give out the facts, man. We about to give them
I
out.
feel good. Philosopher Fred, how you doing?
I'm chilling, man.
I already knew the answer. Lil C, talk to me.
Damn, little.
Don't let him lowercase your C, nigga. Don't let him lowercase your C.
I don't answer the little.
You know what? It's not Lil C
Yeah.
no more. We need to say lowercase C. How you doing?
God, not the whole thing.
That's
Man, get
Lil-
on that, man, Cordell.
Yeah, Cordell.
See, this is just. I told you. See, now you got a little part. You got a robbing and crying. To make
I'm
fun of
on
me.
your side. What you talking about?
right now.
No,
Right now.
both
I
of
ain't
these
gonna,
niggas
I ain't
some
gonna, I ain't gonna be
instigators.
called no Robin. I can't be Robin. I
Robin
was,
and his Batman on his.
Nah, if anything, one was Superman. I was Batman the whole fucking time. You just never seen me. You know what I mean? It has to be.
I'm crying.
Ain't no way.
He said, I ain't no sidekick.
I can't.
What to
never.
make Fred then?
Huh?
Fred's my only friend here. He's the only one who's nice to me.
Fred don't give a fuck about that.
That's why Fred my only friend.
Fred will be the Green Lantern.
I was just thinking that shit. I was like, he don't
Yeah, he'd
answer
be the
to
Green
nobody.
Lantern.
Is that wild?
You be
'Cause I
you
also
most
thought Green
certainly
Lantern.
you would most certainly be the Flash.
I also
Most
thought
certainly, like hands down, like it's not even close, bro. Like you the Flash, bro.
And you know what's so
You
crazy?
got it, bro.
The Flash fuck up everything in the whole comic history.
Don't let them do that.
Y'all forget the
He
Flash.
fucks it all up,
Y'all
bro.
forget the Flash saved them niggas asses
But he-
multiple times.
But you know what happened when he did that? He fucked it all up.
Hey, we don't talk about what happened. We talk about the end result.
But yeah, you will be the Flash. You're right. You absolutely right. You're
Hell
right.
yeah, man.
Guys, in the comment section, let us know who our DC counterparts would be. You decide.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Y'all good. We good. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. I apologize. Let me sit up because I know I'm kind of
we
lax
can
down.
do the facts.
I know we finna do the facts. I'm just showing my
Showing
appreciation
love to the fans.
to the fans, to the viewers. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys would like to hear us talk about, see us talk about. Join in the community, man. We want to make sure that the culture is strong with fact goers. We checking facts. All we want is facts, big facts, little facts, car facts, all that shit. You feel what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm finna stop using mail and just get a fax machine. 10-4. All right. You feel me? Let's get to these real facts, man. This nigga.
Can't take this nigga nowhere.
Let's get it, man. Facts.
Wow for that.
Hell yeah, man. Who got the facts? Who going first, man? Do I need to go first?
I'm ready with mine.
All right, let's see it, man.
So it says it takes 5 positive things to outweigh a single negative thing because our brains have something called a negativity bias that makes us remember bad news more than good ones.
That shit fire. That shit hot.
So y'all stop talking all that negative shit. Start saying positive shit.
You feel me?
Philosopher Fred, y'all give it up for my nigga, man. That's the hardest fact gonna be tonight, man. That could be the hardest one. I can feel it right now. Let's see what you got.
I don't respond to that name.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Put that foot down. 10 toes.
He don't put that foot down when you talk to him like this, so I don't care nothing about it.
It's one podcast. He won't invite me back over.
Dre want to see an argument so bad.
You know what I'm saying? Instigate like a motherfucker. I got my chest all out. My
I
nipples
tried
showing
this,
and stuff.
man. I tried.
Trying to get us canceled.
If I say something to him, this whole couch gonna be gone. I'll be sitting on the floor the next podcast.
I sit on this other half. I did nothing wrong.
The whole couch gonna be cut off. I'm gonna
cut
have
off your half.
everyone gonna have a mic. I'm gonna have one of those fucking like Barbie doll mics and shit. Every day argument. One piece of thing gonna go. Like where my headset go? Don't worry about it, nigga. Y'all gonna see me. I'm gonna have a paper cup and some string.
You done bullied my man Cordell for too long.
I do not be bullying this
You
man,
done bullied
bro.
this man way too fucking long.
It's
bro.
crazy because people be calling me a bully, and I'm like, bro, I ain't held nobody upside
What you-
down and shook their pants for no
What
money.
you,
I ain't gave nobody a swirly.
It's a fact that one been out here bullying motherfuckers since I left my boy last year. He been bullying for a whole fucking year. He a new ass nigga. The fuck is going on? That's crazy. Have you ever heard one of bullying people? Or anybody saying that he's a bully?
Besides y'all, no.
That's what I'm, bro. It's crazy, one. You out here manipulating the people.
You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
So my
Oh
fact.
shit!
So cats don't naturally purr. They do it. They do it because they mimicked. They studied humans long enough and they mimic baby cries, and they pretty much see that humans get off to it. But in the wild, cats do not purr. They do it simply for humans.
You mean meow?
No purr.
I think they purr. I think they don't meow.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's
Yeah,
it.
but it's the
My
meow.
bad. Maybe it's the meow.
Purr, yeah.
Yeah.
No, is it?
Yes, meow.
'Cause I feel like
They
they would
meow to
naturally.
they
I feel
meow
like they
to
would
their
naturally
young.
make a sound.
No, their young meow. The adults don't. They adults only meow to us. But I feel
Maybe-
like they have to purr.
Maybe
like,
that's it.
they-
I do know that scientists are still trying to figure out why they purr. They don't know 100%
You
why.
said humans get off to it. That's crazy.
No, we don't get. I mean, get off. And some like girls see cats. Like, oh, cute cat. That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Like, you see a dog. You see it like girls see dogs with a puppy dog. I was like, oh, cute doggy. Something like that.
You said it, not me.
Sex saxophone music, goddamn.
You just switching what I'm saying.
You said it, not me.
You know what I mean, man.
What you got, Jersey, man?
It ain't into, spectacular. For all y'all motherfuckers that be eating seafood and shit, did y'all know that a shrimp's heart is in his head?
I didn't know that only because it's an animal fact.
That shit
didn't know
fire.
that.
But it's still a good fact, though.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That was
So
the
should we
heart
eat shrimps with the head on or off?
I be eating mines with no head.
No heart.
You know what I mean? That's how they come. You feel me? I don't want the damn shrimp to come with the eyes. Looking at it, young Drizzy himself.
What you got, Juan?
I'm actually gonna use what I said. I think you had left, but I said last week about back in the before 1915, cars used to have a crank on the front of them that was used to crank the vehicles. Then later on, a woman died in Detroit because not a woman, but
because it was coming. I already fucking knew
what?
that the woman died when she was trying to.
No, the woman didn't die. Her car stalled on a freeway in Detroit. And
dude got out.
The dude got out, and he tried to he tried to crank the car in the front, but it cranked up too fast, and the crank hit him in the face and killed him.
Boom.
And he was a owner of a car manufacturer. Don't remember which one, but then he was also friends with the owner and manufacturer of, I don't remember if it was Mercedes or Cadillac, but one of those, whichever one of those, was the first car to have the crankless startup, but it was real loud and the engine would knock. So what they did was they came up with a scientist came up with a gasoline, but the motherfucker put lead in the motherfucker. He based it off of lead. It's called triethyl lead. And if you look at the production of that gasoline to the time that it stopped being produced, if you look 20 years later at crime rate, the graph and the chart of the production and crime rate look exactly the same 20 years apart. As to say that the lead that was produced by triethyl lead made people more violent and more prone to committing violent crime and just being crazy and lowering IQ and all that type of stuff.
They put that shit in the air and then
yeah.
Us being humans and it just slipped it on in and then
which
in
is
a
why
20-year period.
Which is what no because 20 years is the span of like that's the people that were exposed to it as kids grew up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
And 20 years later.
Whoa.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I feel what you're saying. That's crazy.
Yeah. Which is why I say, and people disagree with me, but I say all the time that we don't have free will the way that we think that we do. There's so many different things that influence us in our behavior and things that we do, that it's not to say that we don't have autonomy, which is the ability to like move and operate with what we have, but like we don't get to choose the things that influence us.
I have free will. Fred, tell me I have free will.
You only said that because I said what I said, which means that you don't have free will. I influenced you to say that. That came from me.
Damn. You his son.
Unrelated. Unrelated.
Oh shit, man, that was a chess move right there.
That's what I wanted him to do.
So you gonna take that?
I don't even know what he said.
Shut
to be
up,
honest.
dude.
I don't even know what he said, to be honest.
You
Oh,
gonna take
He
yeah,
over there
man.
trying to Morpheus me and shit.
I'm just trying to understand.
Hey, I red pilled that nigga.
What if I told you this?
Face ass. But yeah, man, that's just been another episode of the All Facts Podcast. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We fire. I mean, if you ain't tuning in, what you doing? Real talk. Tune in, click the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Listen on the platforms and don't be a hater, man. Tune in for sure. And we're gonna keep this shit. Y'all got any final remarks? Anything from the crowd? Anything?
Just make sure you guys are commenting down in that section what you guys want to see next. If you guys have any ideas, conspiracies, or any news that you guys want to see us talk about, man, we'd love to see them. We read through those things, man. So appreciate all the support.
I'm gonna start calling y'all the fact checkers.
Westside, we live until next time, hoes. Peace out.
And that's it. We out.